what I wanted to do. Check. Let's switch this one. Two, 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 two. Microphone check 1 2 1 2. Yes, yes. Test, test. DJ TLM in the building. Check 1 2. Man, oh man, oh man. This is not going according to plan. But we're going to make it work anyway. Let's see what's happening here. This one ready to go. We're going to talk about technical difficulties in a second. Something we all have to deal with in this modern era. All right, what's going on? Twitch is still catching up. Salute to all my people on YouTube and the people on Facebook. What's going on? People on Periscope, what's going on? And Mixcloud, I still cannot catch Mixcloud. So while I'm starting up, I'm going to have to adjust a couple of things while we let people come in. I was going to stream through OBS, and I don't know. I wanted to test it, but I did not want to start a stream and have to end it after a couple of minutes because it wasn't working. Everything was working fine. The only thing I was missing was audio, and that's pretty important. What's going on here? I wanted to start an extra thing here. All right, let me start. Do this. Trying something new. Streaming on Amazon. See if that's going to work. Should be receiving something. Okay, whatever. I'll take a look at that later. Let me open up Mixcloud. I want to see Mixcloud for a change, because Restream never shows me what goes on Mixcloud. I have no info, but afterwards the set has been recorded, and the same thing with this. It's okay. It's telling me that I'm currently off air. That's pretty weird. So today I'm gonna do the normal DJ Q&A, and we're also gonna take a look at BeatSource Link. Okay, so now I have this open. I can see Mixcloud. DJ Shinsky, what's going on? So I guess I'm gonna have to have multiple tabs open for this one. Hold up, now I'm hearing myself. Turn those speakers off, there we go. Twitch, what's going on? Warm up and get in here. So I had everything set up through OBS, including a screen capture to actually show you some of the DJ software. So in a second, I'm going to have to take one of the HDMI cables and plug that into my computer, get it into the ATEM Mini Pro, and that way we're still going to get my screen. So we're going to make that work. So what's going on? Welcome to the Share the Knowledge live stream. All right, so that's working. So Amazon Live is telling me that it is online. Okay. Because right here, the preview is giving me some sort of an error code. But Restream is telling me that we are online. Okay. No clue. First time looking at it, it just popped up. I was like, okay, let me take a look. I don't mind using an extra service in here as well. I can't see it working, so okay. Restream. Let me get the Restream chat in here so I can see everything combined. If you have any DJ related questions, you know what the deal is. And if you're new and if you haven't been to this live stream before, this is all about just having a conversation as DJs, just asking questions, answering questions, and making it work together. Great set the other day. Can you put your sets on Mixcloud? So all of the sets that I've done live, except for the one on Monday, are already on Mixcloud as audio replays. The one from Monday, I still have to add all of the extra info. So the track list, you name it. That's important because I want to make sure that all of the artists that I play actually get a percentage, because that's how it works on Mixcloud. That's the cool thing about it. You get to support the artists, you play them, and they get a little bit. I get a little bit. So that's pretty cool. So if you check out mixcloud.com/DJ TLM, I have a couple of those online already. So there's 2 or 3 crate sets. I think 2. The third one is coming now. And 1 or 2 Share the Knowledge podcast or live streams as well. So that is on Mixcloud. All right. That is okay. That is okay. Also, I want to know your thoughts when it comes to the new Pioneer controller, the DDJ FLX6. And I had to look at that name like 3 or 4 times, because you have the DDJs, then you have the XDJs, and then you have the something else. And now you have like the RXs, and then you have the XDJs and the DDJs with extra letters. And now we have a DDJ FLX6. So if you've seen that, the new controller for Rekordbox and Serato DJ, let me know what you think about that. All right, so give me a second and let me just connect the output from my computer. Wait a minute, that looks like I look slightly out of focus. Let me double check. All right, so let me connect the computer. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, my computer is now connected as well. Let me see. There we go. That is all right. And I even, for basically no reason at all, added another angle as well. I don't see it yet. Is that there yet? Not important, but just to add a little variety right there, we got the side angle. It also gives you a little different view of the setup I have going on here. But this is what we're going for. So I can actually disconnect all these cables from my iPad. I wanted to show you Algorithm DJ Pro from the iPad, and normally I can use this extension to just send my iPad screen to a large monitor or TV. It does that, but when you open up the Algorithm DJ Pro software, the screen goes black. So I'm not allowed to see that screen. But I can actually use, I've used it during the tour, use Algorithm DJ on the iPad Pro to play videos. And when I DJ with videos, I can use the HDMI output to put videos on like major large screens with a projector. So I can't show the software, but I can show videos. All right. There we go. All right. What do I see here? Honestly, I would have to try it. I'm rocking with the DDJ 1000 SRT and I love it. But look, the SRT, that's like a step or 2 steps above one of those FLXs. So it wouldn't really make a lot of sense to go from a 1000 to that controller. And I think I just saw someone say it's whack. All right, ATM says the controller is whack. Took me 6 months to learn how to do build-ups. Now you just hit a button. We need to talk about that. To me, that falls in the same category as people complaining about sync, how it just takes away the skill of beat matching. First of all, that's just one little cog in the big machine of mixing and transitions. But second of all, look, to be honest, I've only seen that promo, so I don't know exactly how that feature works. And I don't know if it's going to do the same thing you would do. When you make your own buildups, you are 100% in control. I mean, I guess with that thing, you aren't. You get to decide what kind of effects you add, but then you're still turning one knob. It's just not the same thing. You have that organic input of being a human being, and that's never the same thing as what a computer does. So don't feel threatened by computer functions or feel like they're taking something away from you, because you can still do it. You need to do those build-ups because you enjoy doing it. There are DJs out there who don't enjoy doing it. That feature could be great for them, and the way they're promoting it, it sounds like it's really a feature to use to go from one genre to a genre that's in a totally different tempo. And look, normally if we do that and we have to switch tempos, we're going to do something like just echo out, go into the next thing. Not a lot of DJs go through an incredible amount of trouble to switch genres, unless we're talking about 3-style sets where they actually do crazy stuff. But like in a normal club set, a lot of times I see DJs not go through too much trouble to make a transition like that. So I don't know if that's really a thing that's going to take your place. All right, salute Dr. Jeremy Ilnana, what's going on? I know you're not a DJ, but you're still here supporting. So salute to you. And DJ Matt C is in here. Honestly, I would have to try. Oh yeah, that's the 1000. We saw that. DJ named Vest, not sure about the FLX6. And D-Boy20. Do you prefer questions before on Instagram or live during the chat? Both are fine with me. Look, the thing about it is when I post on Instagram and I ask for questions, it is so that I have some actual material ready. It's not like I'm actually preparing the answer, but then I have the first 2, 3, sometimes even 5, 6, 7, 8 topics that I can go to at any moment. But live stream is for that live interaction. I want to talk about an app that I saw as well, a live stream app. But live streaming is all about that interaction. So getting questions during the stream is what it's all about. Now, I know sometimes during my Share the Knowledge live streams, it does go all over the place because I'm still answering a question when there's like 20 new questions in there. But I'm perfectly fine with that. Yo, Finds One, what's going on? Salute to you in Montreal. And Carlos, what's going on? We got DJ Mini Ethan. Yes. And we have Kathy Russell. So yeah, that's the thing. And I talk about it a lot. I'll talk about it again right now. The ATEM Mini Pro is that savior for me. So no matter what happens, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I do have an audio delay, of course, because I'm using this as the main camera right now. That camera does not have that delay. That's something I actually need to adjust in the ATEM Mini Pro software. But normally when I do these videos, I'm using that cam as my main cam. And today I'm using this cam. Almost makes me want to do the rest of the talk this way because that delay kind of bothered me. I know it's a little delay, but it's still a delay. I don't know if I can actually do that while we're in the middle of a stream, if I can change those settings in the ATEM Mini Pro. And I don't know if I should actually take that chance. So for now, I'll just leave it. But yes, there's a slight delay in this camera. Jumoja. Man, I apologize in advance for slaughtering names. The FLX6 is a backward step. They should have created a 2-channel DDJ 1000 or a 2-channel DDJ SZ Mark 1. And Raf says the timing of using the build-up knob is very important, like using other effects. Good DJs can enhance the experience abuse it, and it'll sound like crap. And that's a very good point, because having a feature on a controller like that is one thing, but you still have to know how to use it. I mean, I can see DJs that will probably abuse it, and even during every build up in every song, they'll start to add it because, oh, it's so cool to just twist the knob and let things happen. But if you do that like 7, 8, 9 times in one set, that's going to get boring or even annoying. Let's see. DJ T Diesel, yes, this is what I was hinting about a couple of weeks ago. Now, I had a little bit of info. I hadn't seen it yet. I knew that it had the large jog wheels, which I think is a big plus. And some of the features were explained to me a little bit, but not in detail. But I knew this was coming. Kevy Ja, what's going on? So yeah, to me personally, from what I saw, if you, for instance, are a DJ who already has like a SZ or a DDJ 1000, this is not, I don't know, this is not meant for you, because it would be a step backwards if you go from a 1000 to something like this. Some of those features for the more advanced DJs will probably seem real gimmicky, but I can see, if you look at that promo, it's not meant for us. It is definitely aimed more at beginner DJs or DJs who have something like a DDJ 400, which is a great entry-level controller, which basically packs a lot of features, but it's still pretty minimal. And this still feels really like a small controller. So if you go from this to that FLX, that is a step up. Like, it's a pretty big step up. First of all, it's just a bigger build. Now, for me personally, jog wheels are important. So those large jog wheels would be a major improvement. They also have the little LED in there. So you have your indicator, your marker. That for me is a major plus on the controller. If I'm not mistaken, it is 4-channel, right? So you have more channels. Now, I don't believe it has a lot of inputs and stuff like that. It is, in that sense, a basic controller, but with a lot of features. It has the built-in scratch feature, which I have to double check what exactly it is. What I think it was that you actually just have, you can use your performance pad to store like sounds that you can use for scratching while songs are playing, but I might be totally wrong about that. So I think this is something to get people who have an entry-level controller a little bit enthusiastic, who might feel that going to a 1000 is maybe a little bit too much of a step, too big of a step, that this could be a cool something in between. But I have to fully explore it, and I should probably get one in a while. I think there's already a couple of videos online. Mojax probably already did a video. I think I saw him do a promo on Instagram. So check that out if you haven't checked that out. Could be interesting. DJ 6, what's going on? Salute to you. Yeah, so it is 4 channels. Dreads Lloyd, what's good? What's good? Let me just bring Mixcloud in for a second again. Hey, Karaoke Girl, what's going on? See, I don't think Mixcloud is being sent to the other feeds. That's something they would have to fix. Either Restream has to really check that with Mixcloud. It would be really easy for me to have like everything in one place, and I don't think that's happening right now. Kind of like the filter function. I have to double check what that does. The knob reminds me of when they introduced pad scratching with the SB3. Right. Which also was the same thing. Like, a lot of people were bugging out about that. Well, I actually thought it was pretty cool for beginners. Just like you can hear some scratch patterns. It's not going to take over the job of a real scratch DJ. It doesn't compare to a real scratch DJ. So I'm never threatened by that. I think it's just cool that it might inspire people to learn more about scratching once they've played around with those features. Jog cutter has scratch sounds at different places on the jog. Oh, it's on the jog wheel. See, I didn't realize that. All right. If Pioneer wants to make money, they should create a software dongle that allows Pioneer controllers to be used with Serato and Serato to be used with Pioneer, I would pay $75 per controller. Okay, but there's already quite a few controllers that they have that work with Serato and Rekordbox. So I don't know, but I mean, in a sense, it could probably be possible depending on if the controllers have like a USB input for a dongle like that, because most of the time it's not like hardware to fix that. It is like a software feature. Oh, wow, that's really weird. Okay, I'm actually going to switch cams. I see now. I see that the main cam here, I don't know why. I think that battery is at the end of its life because it was like 3/4 charged and it's now giving me the red light. So I'm actually going to put him in that position, and then we're going to continue the rest of the live with that one. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about BeatSource Link. Now, I don't start with that. First off, I want people to be in here before we get into that and just loosen up and get into it, especially when I had to deal with some technical issues. I don't want to just jump straight into something like that and just talk some DJ first. We'd like to see a DJ 2000 though. Okay, could be interesting. All right, so let me just switch that. Let me switch the cam over there. Give you that for a sec. Switching and switching. Oh, well. All right, let's see. See, we're okay now. Yep. So we lost an angle, but we're back at it. DJ Moberry, what's going on? Ben Bamboo, what's going on? DJ Steve, what's going on? Blacks Bentley, what's going on? Recommend any recommendations for online DJ classes? I'm a multi-instrumentalist, producer, very hands-on. I'll be incorporating Ableton Live and push controllers. All right. Well, there's different places. Now, Digital DJ Tips probably has the most online classes. So they have a diverse amount of classes. I mean, I'm working on my first DJ course, but that's not done yet. And that's really aimed at beginners. So that might even be too basic for you. Or maybe if you're just starting out, it will work for you as well. But like I said, that's not here yet. That's going to be here the end of this year. So Digital DJ Tips, that could be a place to check. They have a lot of different stuff going on. Are any reviews on the Reloop turntable? I heard it does have as much torque as Vestax controllers. As Vestax Controller 1. So the note controls don't respond as quickly. It doesn't have as much torque. I have the RPA 8000 Mark II here, but I don't have the Vestax Controller 1. And I've never used it. I've seen it. DJ Kipski, DJ from the Netherlands, he uses it when he's doing his turntablism. And I could not tell you if there's difference in the torque. No. Maybe you should check DJ Angelo. I mean, he's played a lot with the Reloop turntables. He might have also done some work with the Controller 1, so maybe he knows, but I don't know. I have a SN3. I need help. How do you hook up two speakers straight from the controller? The SN3? Which controller is the SN3? Okay, whatever controller you're using, it all depends on what kind of outputs your controller has. That's the thing. So if your controller has like just a normal stereo out and it's RCA out, you're gonna need active speakers, so speakers that are powered, and you're gonna need a cable that's RCA to whatever input your speakers have. That could be RCA, most likely it's gonna be XLR. So I don't know. I can't tell you. Oh, the SB3. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't remember what outputs that has, but it's probably going to be an RCA out, the master out. So you would need a cable that is RCA to whatever input your speakers have. So that you have to check that out. All right, let's see. Always important. If you ask a question and I miss you, just add it again. Just jump in again and let me know again, because I'm gonna try and stay with the timeline here and not get stuck again, because that happens to me too many times. DJ Louis, thanks for the follow. And let's see. XCJ RX2, love it as a standalone. Yeah, that is one of my favorite standalone players. The new FLX6 comes with Serato and Rekordbox unlocked. Yeah, but if you have an RX2, I don't see any reason to switch to an FLX6. That would not make any sense, because your RX2 is standalone, and you can also use it as a controller for at least Rekordbox. I'm not sure if that works with Serato, but I mean, come on, that's a beast. So that's the thing. Tony Rome, what's going on? And who else do we have in here? We have Selino DJ or Selino DJ one. Oh, that's a long name, bro. But salute to you. Snook Live, what's going on? All right, the SB3 has RCA. Yeah. Is there any way or getting or triggering samples when you're using the XDJ XZ? I don't know. Hey, Franklin. What up, man? The reloop was inspired by the C1s, and I heard from DJ Woody, who was one of the DJs who worked on making the C1s. Also, no incentive for him to lie about it, as Vestax is out of business. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, you can see a lot of times that things were inspired by or based on, and in some occasions, you even have brands that are bought by other brands so that they can use that technology. You can see that with a company like InMusic. InMusic has a lot of brands, and they've bought more over the years. So they have Rain, they have Akai, they have Newmark. They bought Stanton not that long ago. I think they have M Audio. I'm not sure about M Audio, but they have a plethora of brands. So at a certain point, you started to see that the controllers, Newmark controllers, would have like the Akai pads. Because if you own both brands, you can now start to incorporate certain technology across the brands that you own. So that's pretty cool. DJ Robster, what's going on? No, I'm not really a gamer, Franklin. Like normally when I game, I have consoles, and when I game, I get a game. You won't hear me for 2 weeks until I've finished the game, and then I'm basically done. And nowadays I don't really have time. It is something I will start to add in the future to live streaming as well, because I have kids, and my oldest son is definitely a gamer. He's also streaming when he games, so I know that we'll probably do some sort of online gaming with certain games. I mean, his game now, one of his games, of course, is Fortnite. I've only played that on my phone, but I now have a computer that can actually handle all those games. So it's something I might do every once in a while just for fun. And yeah, we can stream it, and either I have to play with him or he's going to murk me every time, but it's all good. Let's see. What kind of mic are you streaming from right now? This is a pod mic by Rode, and this is a great investment because it's only $100. I don't know, maybe they'll have a deal now or around Black Friday. I'm not sure about that. But for the price, I really like this microphone. Now, this is an XLR microphone, so you will need to have something that can handle that. You need to have an audio interface. If you want to keep it more basic, I would look for USB microphone. You have some great USB microphones out there as well. But to me, this is great. It's built like a tank. It's super solid. I like the sound that I'm getting from it. And like I said, for $100, that's a pretty sweet deal in my eyes. All right. I see we have some accounts in here that I don't want to see. My moderator isn't online yet, so I have to fix that myself. I don't want to do that right now. Oh, I can do that from here. There we go. Let me play moderator for a second, because I'm not into that want to buy followers BS. All right, Snook, what's the question? What's the best computer to E? Let me see if you finished that question somewhere. I don't see it. Do you think the SRT, the 1000 SRT, would ever get an upgrade to firmware to reflect the S11 with the scratch pad feature? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot they can do, but on the other hand, you have to also realize that they do have to keep some sort of difference between some of their products. Because if they add most features to most of their devices, then they're competing with themselves. Now, of course, an S11 and an SRT are two different worlds. I get that. So I don't know. It's possible. I mean, with some things, it might also be that a brand just has to hear that there's actually a demand for that. So if they've never heard people ask for it, it might not even be on their list. So I'm definitely not sure. And also, they make so many new controllers that I sometimes also wonder, like, how much time they will actually spend on continuing to make updates for, I don't want to call it an older controller because it's not old, but they're coming out with so many new things. So I don't know. Will Serato be, that's Billy Remix. Will Serato be coming out with a software that will allow you to take out the vocals? We'll see. And that's the cool thing about technology and about brands bringing innovation. You now have Algorithm DJ and you have Virtual DJ, who both have a similar feature. In DJ Pro, it's called the Neural Mix. In Virtual DJ, I forgot. I'll probably open that up in a second to see. So the other brands are aware of the feature. Now, here's the thing. Will it catch on? Remember stems? Traktor had stems, which was basically this, but higher quality, but you couldn't do it on the fly. So tracks had to be provided as normal tracks, but also stems. So you will get separate parts of the track. And on certain Traktor controllers, you could just manipulate that and turn the drums off, turn the bass off, you name it. That did not catch on at all because Traktor was already losing some of its position. So none of the other brands were like, hey, we need to add stems. So I like the Neural Mix feature. I haven't compared the quality of Virtual DJ's version versus the one on DJ Pro, but they're nice. They're fun. Audio-wise, they're not perfect yet. They don't sound that great. Maybe Virtual DJ sounds better, but it's okay. So it's a nice feature, but I don't know if this is something that every DJ is like, please let us have this. So again, if Serato would hear from enough users that this is something they're looking for and they want to stay with Serato, but they really want that feature, that might be an incentive for them to do it, but maybe they already are. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I hear things, other things you will only hear once they're in their final stages of development. And I don't know. Let's see. Jefferson, what's going on? I love my RX2. Yes. I had an S8. That's the Traktor S8, right? Is that the one? That's the one without the jog wheels, right? That was that major shift where people were like, okay, Traktor is on something else when they came out with the controllers with no jog wheels. And they had the S8 and it had like that little strip. And I had one of the Native Instruments people like showcasing me like, hey, you can scratch using that little touch strip. Like, yeah, nah, that's not going to cut it. All right. Let's see if Snook finished his question already. The best computer for what? Mike Beats, what's going on? Salute to you. And who else is in here? My sound cut out. Did you have an answer for my question regarding the firmware? Oh, wow. You didn't catch that? Nah. Okay, the short answer is I don't know. The longer answer you have to catch on the replay. But no, I don't know if that's happening. Wiz Simon, what's going on? Yes, Nuke Live was asking about the best computer to use, but to use for what? To use for DJing, to use for music production, video editing, gaming. That is the important part of the question. So that's what I needed to know. All right. Primo DJ, what's going on? Who am I going to work with or collaborate with in the future? If you're talking about artists, you never know. So, of course, I always work with Brainpower for live shows, which are, of course, not happening now. During this lockdown, we did a couple of shows of the tour, and the rest of the tour has now been postponed till next year. But production-wise, I'm working with him still now. I did 2 of his last 4 singles, and we have some more stuff on the way. You never know what will happen with other artists. So nothing planned, but I don't know. Anything can happen. All right, I'm curious which platforms you're checking for new music. D-Boy, that was your question. Thanks for asking it again. So I'm curious which platforms you're checking for new music, USA and Netherlands. Because of the quantity of music nowadays, do you have tips to do this in an effective manner? The fact is there is just so much music out there, and I'm not the person to really answer that because, I mean, I still check for new music, but I'm definitely not on it the way I used to be, also because it is just so much. So even if you're just a subscriber to one DJ pool, most likely that DJ pool is going to have daily updates of new music coming out. That's not everything. If you also have like a couple of the new music playlists on Spotify or Tidal, they'll have new music for you all the time as well. Then you have blogs that might have a little bit music that's a little bit under the radar with new music. So there's so much music. So I'm not trying to check for everything because that's just an overload for me right now. And especially now with no DJ gigs, there's even less of an incentive for me to be looking for all new music. So a DJ pool is always for me a great option to make sure that I can keep sort of a finger on the pulse of what's happening and get new music. And I have a couple of playlists on Spotify. And then, of course, I have a 12-year-old son. That is something that is also pretty effective because he's always playing new stuff. I don't like everything, but you hear new names. Some names you know, but you just don't know the music because I see the names when I'm scrolling through the DJ pool, and then he's playing the tracks. But no, I mean, it was way easier when you just had to go to the record store once or twice a week to see if they had any new import. And that could be a few records or maybe like a stack. And you just go to that stack and you would be up to date. But in the digital era, anyone can release music through so many different channels. So there's so much out there. And some people are just on that. They'll spend like 1 or 2 hours a day checking all the blogs, checking all the streaming sites, and checking their DJ polls to see what's new. And then checking out all those artists. And when I check even just the DJ pool and I see new music that's being released, like half of the names are not familiar to me. And I don't have the time currently to go through all those songs. So in my case, I'll pick any song that has at least a name in there that I know to start. And sometimes it's just a name I heard of. And a lot of times it's an artist that I'll actually know. And then I'll check those. Otherwise, it's just going to be way too much for me. So that's not the best answer maybe in your position, but it's crazy. All right. It's a good question because Apple is changing their hardware and USB-C is the thing now. What is that are you talking about that computer question? And with the new Apples, we'll have to see what happens. I can't even comment on that yet. I don't know. Is it called stems in Virtual DJ? I'll open Virtual DJ in a second and just check. When it comes to 1200s, I'm a diehard. And what are the top 3 features you feel made me drop 2K for it? Oh, my boys are trying to get me to go with the S11. No, I can't name you top 3 features that would make you drop 2K for it. That's the thing. If there's new equipment that comes out, you have to take a look at the features and see if there's anything in there that's currently missing from your gear that you would feel would actually add something to your performance, your ability to have fun while you're playing. That's the thing for me, because there's always so much equipment coming out, and it's always cool to look at the new gimmicks, but a lot of times the new features might not be features that you actually need. So you need to go for the specs, check out a couple of reviews, and then decide if this is something that is actually worth 2K, because it's a lot of money. Those things are not cheap at all. All right, let me do this just to be ahead of the camera. There you go. That is my camera that will go into sleep mode every 30 minutes. So I want to make sure I'm ahead of that. If it happens and you get the black screen, but you still hear me, then you know that the stream is still on. I'll do that quick switch and then go back, but I'm still here. All right, let's see. We're going to go into BeatSource Live in about 9 minutes. Before that time, let me just check a couple more questions. I'm getting ready to start live streaming. What's the difference between OBS and Streamlabs OBS? There's not really a lot of difference when it comes to the actual software. So I'm using even a different version of OBS because I'm using Stream Elements OBS, but it's basically all OBS. But then Streamlabs and Stream Elements have a couple of add-ons that you will see inside the software. I'll let you see my version when we get to my computer screen, but they basically all have the same thing. The thing about, for instance, Stream Elements, which I use, but I haven't been able to show you because every time I want to, something happens and I have to just go off my ATEM Mini Pro. So I'm streaming off that little device again, that one right there, not going through a computer now. But inside of when I go to Stream Elements, they allow me to make overlays and all of that stuff. And all I have to do is copy a URL. And then in OBS, I can add that as a browser overlay. So that's very light on your computer. And when I open OBS, inside my OBS, I will also see a Stream Elements chat window and a couple of other features. But at the heart of it, they're all using OBS. And OBS is just OBS. And I can't really get into Streamlabs, but they also offer a couple of extra features. Please give me your number. No hard feelings there, but that's just a no. I'm easy to reach online on multiple websites, in DMs. My email is everywhere. My phone is my phone. That's private, sometimes business, but that is not something I would share. I have a lot of people on IG as well, like telling me like, hey, send me your number, let's do WhatsApp. I'm like, no, we already have plenty of ways to communicate. That is something that I keep to myself. So no. Thoughts on Mixar's STA ITA turntables? I've never had the chance, Michael, to test Mixar's gear. I think Mojax has. I think he's done a couple of reviews. So make sure you check out DJ City TV and just search for Mixar's. But I've never had a chance to see it in person or play with it. So I don't know. Reactor, what's going on? 20 years old, bought a Numark Party Mix about 2 years ago, but I regret it. Looking at getting a DDJ 400 as an upgrade. Any thoughts on moving up to the DDJ 400? All I can say about the 400 is it is a very dope entry-level controller. I call it entry-level because it basically is a nice basic, quote-unquote, basic model that's not that expensive. It's nice and mobile. It's small. Even if you don't have a lot of space, this will always fit. But it has quite a lot of features on there. You have all of your performance pads. I haven't seen the party mix in a while, so I don't remember what's on the party mix. It's also a software thing, I think. What did the Numark party mix use for software? But anyways, if you use this, you can also use it with a bunch of different software. Of course, it's made for Rekordbox, but I also use this when I use my iPad with Algorithm DJ Pro, and that works great as well. Just hold the two side to side, compare features, and that should tell you if this is a worthy upgrade. If you feel that this is almost similar to your party mix or it doesn't add a lot, then maybe if you feel you actually want more, you take a look at something that's like a step up. And there's a couple of step ups that you can go from a 400. You could go to, I think it's the 800. And now, of course, they have that FLX6 that is somewhere in between there. So there's a bunch of different options, but it all depends on, okay, what do you have now? What do you feel that is missing? And what do you see on other controllers that you feel would be a real addition to what you have now? It would improve your performance. And like I said, it will improve your fun. I'm almost stumbling over words, and that's because I'm having a case of dry mouth over here. So let me get this ginger in real quick. Yes. That is so good. Okay, so Snook, you're looking for a computer for DJing. Look, most computers will work. Just look at the DJ software that you use, go to the manufacturer website, look for the minimum specifications. That's going to help you to see what your computer needs to have at least to make it work right, and try to go a little bit above that. When it comes to a laptop or computer, I mean, I assume you're looking for a laptop. Make sure you have a nice processor in there that has enough power. Make sure you get plenty of RAM, your random access memory. That is important. So make sure you get a little bit more than you would need for your DJ software. Go for one with an SSD drive, that's for certain, and make sure you have enough space. I'm going to go back to Mojax again because he just did a video about the XMG 15, the XMG DJ 15 laptop, which is a laptop, a Windows-based laptop that was specifically made for DJing. Now, of course, when you look at the build, it is just a laptop. It has pretty nice specs, but they kind of worked in the BIOS and changed some of the settings to make it optimized for DJing and music production at a very fair price. So that looked interesting. There's a couple of nice laptops out now that are not that expensive, that are very powerful, that would be perfect for DJing, but also like video editing and audio production. So you got Dell's, I think it's the XPS 13 and 15. I saw Asus with, I forgot the name, I think it's a G14 or something like that. That was like, had a crazy GPU in there as well. There's a lot. So I can't name a specific model. DJ Hail Nazareth, what's going on? Salute to you in Brooklyn. DJ Outlaw, thanks for the follow. SA scared people off. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I mean, it didn't scare me, but I was like kind of shocked. Like, wait a minute, are we going away from jog wheels? That was kind of weird. DJ Vinyl Touch, do you think in the future libraries will be completely cloud-based? Hard drive space is limited, and I think we should be at a point where libraries are completely cloud-based, and the laptop should be only cache what is needed. I don't know. I talked about this, I think, 5, 6, 7 years ago, that I thought that maybe in the future there would be a time where DJs would just come into a club, there would be a setup and a computer there, and all you would do is log in, and then you would have access to your files. That is something that is actually possible. If the club, if the venue would have, like, it wouldn't even have to be a laptop. If it was the venue's computer, they could have like a powerful desktop computer in there with a nice big monitor, DJ set in there, maybe 2 DJ sets, and people could come in. The software would be on the device and just log in. like this kind of falls into place with what I'm about to start talking about, BeatSource Link, because that basically is what it does. It is a streaming service inside your DJ software. So a couple of weeks ago, I did a set on Twitch, and during that set, I actually didn't have any music on the computer. Like the laptop was empty, and everything I played came straight from the cloud, from BeatSource Link. So it's an option. I don't know. It would still, in my opinion, be kind of scary if we all just depended strictly on an internet connection. Just imagine if there's some kind of blackout, or not a blackout, that means there's no power, but like there's something going on with the internet in that area where the venue is. So there's no internet, and all of a sudden DJs couldn't DJ. I could not see myself going to a gig without having music on me. My thing is, your crate should be as small as possible, and you don't need that much hard drive space to have nice crates on your computer. And otherwise, you would just get, even if it's like a flash drive, that's going to be able to store a lot of your music. So I would always have something like that on me. But beyond that, yes, it's something that's been on my mind for a long time that is definitely possible. Okay, so Frimo, you can ask in French as well, but the answer is still no. You can contact me using email, DMs, you name it. That's perfectly fine. No, I'm sorry. All right, which album do I think is the best? That's a long answer. We'll do a separate episode to talk about music, and we can all start to throw in our favorite albums. DJ Savvy, what's going on? All right, sharing the knowledge here on the Denon Prime 4. Dope. Top 2 effect controls. Frimo, je ne parle pas français. Un petit. So I clearly cannot understand the rest of what you're saying here. I mean, if I take a long look at the sentence, I might start to understand, but I'm pretty limited when it comes to my my abilities in French. All right, so I see more questions. I'm going to just give you a quick shout out because we have to get into this. It's already 8 o'clock, and I want to start talking about BeatSource Link. Oh, wow. There's definitely a couple more in here. I might move back once we move on from BeatSource Link. So let's see how we can best do this, because I only have one screen now, right? The other one is not connected. Is there a way I can? Oh, wait, I can do that. Okay. Let me see real quick. So you really can't see, but I have my setup here. I have my monitor here. I have a monitor on top, and that shows me my ATEM Mini control screen, my multi-view. And I see that I can actually just take my screen and let me take this one and move it in here. All right, hold up. Yes. And I have to go full screen here, otherwise I can't see it. So let's just start here real quick. This is BeatSource. So if you're not familiar with BeatSource, so no, I'm not in OBS, so I can't do window capture. I'm currently still streaming off this. This is my video switcher. So I have the GoPro going in here. I have that camera going in here, and I have an output from my desktop computer also now going in here. That's what you're seeing now. So no, I can't do window capture now. I had everything set. I had, like, for real, I had everything set up to do OBS. I had nice overlays ready. I had a window capture ready, 2 different ones. I could not get audio. So I saw the audio come in to OBS, but I couldn't hear it. There was no way to monitor it. And I tried this on Monday as well, and people were telling me that there was no audio. So I did not want to do that live test again. So I'll probably go back on like tonight or tomorrow at some strange time and just experiment until I get that audio to work, because I don't know what went wrong. I could see the audio clearly inside OBS, but it's somehow not getting out to the stream. That's what happened last time. I didn't want to risk it. So at any time, I can go from this because I have Ethernet connected. So this is just the touch of one button on air, and then it starts to stream and I'm good to go. So now I have to do it like this, but I digress. It works. If you're not familiar with BeatSource, BeatSource is a collaboration between DJ City and Beatport. Beatport is the largest online store, digital store for house music. And BeatSource is basically aimed at the open format DJ. So you can find a wide selection of music on BeatSource. And it's a store. It's an online store, and they have an immense amount of music. And the cool thing about it is that they have an incredible amount of playlists. And these playlists are not just made by some random intern. These are actually made by DJs. So you will get playlists that are actually really suited for whatever they have as a name. So you're going to know that if you need some 90s Latin hip hop, then you're going to get a nice selection that's going to help you out when you have a gig and you need that. Now, they have a ton of lists. These are just a couple. They do all sorts of themes. So you have, of course, all different genres. You have your throwbacks, Afro beats, rap essentials, viral essentials, reggae, dancehall, pop, dance, Latin, you name it. An all ages party where it goes all over the place. They have their top 10, so you can see what's most popular at the moment. And all of these songs can be bought. Now you have a bunch of new releases. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Like there's really a lot in here, and more music is coming out all the time. So that's the store. That's BeatSource. You can just go to beatsource.com, check that out. There's a lot to be found there if you're looking to buy music. Now, that was basically phase one. The next step is that they added BeatSource Link. And with BeatSource Link, you have the option, the ability to play all of the music, or at least most of the music, almost all, and there's more added every day. But you can stream all of that music in your DJ software. All right, before I continue, let me see if there's already question here. Yeah, I know about the checkbox. In advanced audio, I tried the different things between monitor only and monitor and output, but I'll experiment with that later on. Is BeatSource going to come up with a way to be able to add your playlist while you're playing live? Yeah, you could do that. You could definitely do that. If you're online, that means that you can also just open a web browser and get in. Now, look, I have my account and I'm currently already logged in. So let me just show you this first. Let me quickly grab some DJ software. And let's get some DJ software to that same window. Here we go. All right. So to be clear, at the moment, BeatSource Link works with Serato DJ. It works with Rekordbox. It works with DJ Pro by Algorithm. It works with Virtual DJ. It works with Engine Prime for the Denon DJ for some of their equipment. And it works with, I'm forgetting one, it works with Dejuiced by Hercules, if I'm not mistaken. I also have to bring up one page. I'll look that up later. That's a page on medium.com. And that page by Styles Davis from DJ City. On that page, he basically has a quick guide for whatever software you use, how to get BeatSource Link to work inside of your DJ software, because it is pretty easy. It's a little bit different on each software depending on how their settings work. It's definitely a little bit different when you get to using it in Engine Prime, because there's a few extra steps most likely you'll have to take, and currently it only works with their beta version of the software. But I'll make sure I'll link that. It's on medium.com. Do I still have it open? No, I'll look it up in a second. But Styles made like a nice, just one page where you can see how to use it with all the different software, right? So here is my Serato DJ Pro, and hold up, I want to see. 1 second, guys. I'm gonna leave this chat room for a second. Okay, just needed to see if I was still good there. Right. Okay. So as you can tell, I don't have a lot going on in my Serato right now. Not a lot of crates here. There's a few tracks in here. That's basically because I just installed this on the desktop computer. Normally I use my Serato on the laptop, but you can see this folder right here, BeatSource. Basically all I had to do when I was here is go to my library, and at the bottom you have something called music streaming, and you have a couple of different options. The downside, I would say, with Serato is you can only select one at a time. A couple of the other DJ softwares will allow you to have all of them open at the same time. But yeah, this one makes you pick. So once you get here, you select it, you will have to log in. Now I'm already logged in, and I have the option to show featured playlists, which I currently have on. You can also turn that off. So if I turn that off, do that now. If I now go into BeatSource, it will only show my playlists. These playlists that you see right here are playlists that I saved in my account. So let me just go to my account. But sorry about that. So my library. Now here you can see the playlist. So I just went through the BeatSource.com site, and I just saw a couple of playlists. And when you see a playlist, you can just save it, and it will then add it to your library. So as you can see here, I went for a couple of the themed playlists that were producer themed playlists. So you have produced by Teddy Riley, you have Jam and Lewis, Rodney Jerkins, Jay Dilla, The Neptunes, Beat Rock. Then I have a couple of others that were label based. So you have Def Jam, Death Row, Rockefeller, and Bad Boy, Loud Records. And then we have another producer, Dre, Premier, Battle Cat. So these were just a couple of fun themed things that I wanted to use when I was mixing Sly and Robbie. A lot of things going on there. Some throwback instrumentals, you name it. Now that list that you see right there is the same list that you see when you look at my Serato. There you go. Teddy Riley, all of that. Now, if I was playing right now, I could, in the meantime, go here to the BeatSource site and go to playlists and just take a look. So for instance, you can see when I hover over it with the mouse, it allows me to save to library. So I could just say, okay, I want to add the top pickups, the top picks from R&B, save to library. It's now been saved, successfully saved and added to the library. Now this is a little tricky because it won't automatically show up here now. The only way that I currently know how to basically refresh is to switch it for a second. Now I could be wrong that there's already another way to do this, but if I, for instance, just do that switch and switch back, if I'm not mistaken, it should have already refreshed now. There you go, at the top, R&B pickups. So I actually did this one time. So the only thing is, if you want to do this, you have to make sure that you're not playing a track from BeatSource Link at that time. Because if you're playing a track from BeatSource Link, you can't switch these sources. So just grab, you most likely will have music on your computer as well. Play a song off the computer. While that's playing, you just click, and you click back to BeatSource, and that's all it needs to refresh. And anything you added will then be added. So yes, you can definitely play and on the fly decide like, hey, I need some more, and let me just open so you can actually see it work. So now I can just grab it. Now normally I would use my mixer. Now I'm dragging, and you see within a couple of seconds it is loaded, it is analyzed. You can see the key, and you can see your BPM, and you're good to go. So let's take a look if there's any questions already. Can't be worse than SoundCloud streaming on the Prime. It's pretty rough when searching for a specific track. Okay. I haven't tried it with SoundCloud yet, and most likely if I'm using SoundCloud, I'm only using basically a couple of tracks from a SoundCloud playlist that I have. So in that case, it doesn't have to search through SoundCloud. So I haven't really tested that yet, but I will do that, definitely. Boothy DJ, thanks for the follow. And Guksu, what's going on, man? It's up to you. So James asked, how often do you back up your flash drives, or do you still use them? I hardly DJ with flash drives. I did it for some gigs when I had gigs with Brainpower. If we had like a short club gig, and I know we're playing at a venue where all of the DJs are playing on CDJs, I'm not going to go through the trouble of bringing like either my own set, or setting up the CDJs with my laptop for Serato. I'll bring a flash drive with something that's prepared on Rekordbox. But I'll most likely bring 2 flash drives, so that is already my backup. But beyond that, I don't really have to back up my flash drives. Now, when it comes to files on my computer, I definitely make backups of my files. I'll have hard disks to make backup copies of what's on the computer. I make a cloud copy of what I have on my computer. Backups are important. Are there hot cues in the tracks that you stream? Let's start there. I see a couple more questions. And I am Queen Coco. Thanks for the follow. All right, let's go back. So currently, as you can see with the track that I just loaded, there are no cue points in that track. Now, I'm not sure if some tracks did have cue points. I don't think so. My personal preference anyways is that I like to make my own cue points. DJ John, what's going on? So for me, this is not an issue because I'm used to setting cue points on the fly. And if I'm using one of these playlists, the playlist that I already have for myself, then I could just make sure that when I'm at home, that before I get to a club, that I'll just go through the list and set cue points if I feel that's something that's necessary. So I don't know if I've played some of these songs already. I'm not sure if I've played these songs already, because I believe the cue points will be saved once you set that. But no, there's no cue points set for you when you get it from BeatSource Link. All right, so that is basically what it does. Now, besides that, as you can see here, when you look at your search bar in Serato, you can see that right next to it, you have this little toggle. Now, if it's off, now I'm just going to search whatever is visible here. But if I want to search BeatSource, then I can go in here and search through anything on BeatSource. So if I'm looking for a specific artist that's not in my collection currently, then it can find that for you. What else is going on here? Yeah, salute to you too. I only use streaming for requests, but SoundCloud is hard to find. Yeah, streaming is a great option for that. So even if you already have your own crates, and you actually know that you have the music that you want to play, but you also want to be able to maybe accommodate if there's people there asking for music that you don't have, but you don't mind playing it, then this is also a great option. So does the entire song download before it plays, or is it streaming? If the internet goes down while you're playing a BeatSource track, will it stop? No, the song is loaded into your deck. So if you lose the connection afterwards, the song is still in your deck. And the cool thing also is you have a couple of different options when it comes to the subscriptions that BeatSource Link offers. And with the different subscriptions, you have a couple of different, let me get that in here as well for you. Hold up. No, I have to see it. I cannot see what I'm doing otherwise. Be full screen. Thank you. If we go to BeatSource Link, where's that link? I thought it was on the site as well. But let's just get it in here like this. Let's go. Because you have subscription models that also allow you to save a couple of tracks offline. And you can try it for free for 30 days as well. So you have a couple different plans. So with the $9.99 plan, you cannot store offline and you have a lower quality of streaming. With the $19.99, you get the higher quality streaming and you can store 50 tracks offline. So if you, for instance, make your own playlist, because you can save playlists, but you can also create your own playlists on BeatSource. If you have a playlist in there and you want to be guaranteed that whatever happens, those tracks are going to be there, then you can store those tracks offline. And that means that they will be available in Serato, even if you do not have an internet connection. And with their Pro Plus plan, you can even store 100 tracks offline. So they do give you that option. So that's pretty cool. All right, let me just grab... Let me grab, for instance, Rekordbox. So why is it they have this low number of cache tracks maximum? I think this is something that they're planning to expand in the future, and this is just a starting point. That's what I heard. Let me just close this. I do not want to see a Rekordbox setup or tutorial. Boom. Let's get that in here. Hello, Rekordbox. Make you full screen for a second. So same thing in Rekordbox. Over here, you see all of these sources. Now, it depends on your settings, because if you're using Rekordbox and these are all not active, then as you see, you won't see it in there. So maybe in your Rekordbox DJ, you don't see them yet. Then you have to go into the settings. And then in the layout, you just make sure you get BeatSource. And then you can see BeatSource. So same thing here. When I open it, I see the top tracks. I see BeatSource playlists. And I see my playlists. And there you go. There you have that same list that you just saw in Serato in here as well. Now, these lists right here, the top tracks, are the most popular tracks at the moment from different genres. And I'm not sure why it's not showing that yet. That's because I've never opened this before, so this is a surprise to me. Okay, nothing is opening yet. I think I may have done something wrong here. What have I done wrong? I just installed this. Ah, okay. That's pretty funny, because we had our connection here in Serato, and Rekordbox is telling me that there is not a connection. Okay, I'll check that again in a second. So here you only saw my playlist. That is something I showed you a little bit earlier. But if I activate this window right here, show featured playlists, then this will also show me top tracks. And as you can see in Serato, we can clearly see them. So Rekordbox is bugging. I don't know why, because it was working fine before. But these are the top tracks. And then you have a bunch of curated playlists for different genres. So if you're playing on the fly and all of a sudden people are asking for some dance music and you don't really have that, then they have a bunch of things that you can choose from. Okay, maybe there is an internet connection problem, because I'm not seeing them either now. I am seeing the R&B one. I'm not seeing the rest yet. I shouldn't have an internet connection problem, by the way, because we are streaming just fine. The offline locker is not available in Serato yet. That is a possibility. I have not used the offline locker in quite some time, actually. So that's possible. Let me wake up my cam again. Hello. There we go. So I'll make sure to ask if they already, yeah, 12th night. I totally believe you. I'm going to ask if there's already a timeline for that, because I don't know. All right, so let me just grab a device that I have on the side here that's been waiting for us. Make a little bit of room here. This should be able to fit right next to it. There we go. All right, Beat Junkies will release their redesign on Saturday. I didn't know that. All right, so, all right, this is not really gonna show. I'm gonna have to lift that thing for you to see. I'm gonna have to lift that up for you to see, otherwise you can't see it. Okay, I think I'm having a little internet problem here. I do not know why on the computer, but my streaming is going perfectly fine. I was using this before before I started streaming, and now this is telling me that there's a BeatSource Link error, trouble connecting the server, contacting the server, and now it won't show me my playlist, when before this was actually just showing me all my tracks. Oh, there we go. No. Okay, don't know what's going on there because my Serato was working fine and now the rest is not. All right, so I'm going to skip that for a second. Let me get this heavy thing off the table again. This is a heavy beast. So that may have been some sort of internet issue. DJ Sheriff, what's going on? Mixmaster G, what's going on, man? Let me take a quick look and scroll back because I know I've probably been missing a couple of things. Yeah, that's the SE5000M. That's a pretty beefy device. Yeah, that was the SE5000 Prime. I just wanted to show BeatSource Link inside of the unit, but I seem to be having a little issue with the internet. Oh, you just unboxed the 6000M? Nice. Nice. So yeah, the same thing actually applied to using it with the Denon devices. So the cool thing about that is with a couple of the Denon devices that have the internet connection, you can use BeatSource Link on that. So with the standalone player, I think it's the Prime 4, the 5000 and 6000 series, the normal and the M version. I don't know if there's another device also, but at least those devices will allow you to just also use BeatSource Link. DJ Woodchip, what's going on? Let me quickly go back to yeah, and you can also use Dropbox on Prime as well. That's pretty crazy, right? So let me just go back to BeatSource for a second. Bang. All right. Because we had all of the different playlists in here, and like there's just so much in there. Excuse me, so much in there that's dope. But let's just open one of these for a second because I was saving like playlists, but you could also go for individual tracks. Okay. See, now this is taking a long time as well. So maybe there's a little, is that really, let's see. Well, that's loading like straight away. See, that happens when your son is on your account. You get KSI in your videos as well. Haha, dope. Okay, so that's working. So it might be just, maybe they're doing something on the BeatSource server right now. I'm not sure. But I just wanted to show you this real quick. Before I showed you that I saved an entire playlist. So I can do the same thing here. When I go into the playlist, I can still say save the library. But if you look at a playlist and you just see a couple of tracks within a playlist that you would like to add, then you can also just take that specific track and you can add that. You can add it to a playlist. You can create a new playlist around it, or you can buy it. So I could create a brand new playlist right now. Call it whatever, and you can make it public so other DJs can also see the playlist you create, and you might give them ideas, or if you don't want to share, you can keep it private. So I can save that, and then in my library, I will now see when I look at the playlists. Yeah, I think there's definitely a little connection issue right now. Yeah, that's probably it's taking a little bit longer. That's why it's probably not working in the DJ software right now, which is a shame actually, because I mean, like I said, like 2 weeks ago, I had no issues during my DJ set, and I was playing just fine. Now, even though it's been working perfectly for me when I DJ, if I ever go out to play, going back to the question of DJs going down to playing clubs and just do everything cloud-based, I don't know if I would ever truly trust that. I would always want to have that backup. So, okay, Mixmaster is also telling me that BeatSource is down, and Vess is telling me the same thing as well. So yeah, that's pretty much a shame during this demo, but it is what it is. I'll try again in a few seconds. Orlando, what's going on? Haha. Appreciate that. Jason, let me see. When you save one of the top 40 playlists, does it only have the files, or do they rotate the file depending on popularity? That is actually a very good question. So you're talking about their top list, right? So I have to assume, because that's a list that I've never used myself, that if you take one of those, let's see if we can go back to, let's just reload. Will it go now? No, I can actually not show you now. Okay. I'll try again in a second. I would assume that if that list changes, it will change in the laptop as well. So if you open it the next time, it should be up to date again. That's what I assume, but I cannot tell you with 100% certainty. But that's definitely what I assume, because if I go to my own playlist on BeatSource and I delete a couple of tracks in that playlist, the next time I open it, that playlist on Serato or Rekordbox or whichever DJ software I use will also not have those tracks anymore. So yes, I would definitely say that's what it should be. So Vess, exactly. And even though BeatSource Link is absolutely dope, and luckily this did not happen during DJ sets, this is why you always want to have a backup. And let's just go back to the topic that I actually didn't talk about that much yet. That is technical difficulties. This Monday, so 2 days ago, I was going to stream, or I streamed a mix, my Crates episode 5. I was going to play with the Rain 72, and I had my two Vestax PDX 3000 with phase, and I was going to use my Rodecaster Pro. I had my mic connected to this. The DJ set went into this as well. This went into the A10 Mini Pro. That was connected to the computer, and I was going to use OBS because I was finally able to fix my computer. My computer was having random crashes, sometimes after 2 days, sometimes after half an hour, and it had happened a couple of times during live streams, so I didn't trust it, and I was using my A10 Mini Pro. Now, all the computer parts are fine, and I actually just ended up reinstalling Windows and just starting over again. Now everything is clean, working great. So I was ready to now finally start streaming with all of the overlays and sound alerts and you name it. So I had everything set up. I was almost ready to go, and about 20 minutes before the stream, my laptop that I use for DJing right now, that's a Surface Book 1. It's a loaner because I don't have a great functioning laptop right now. Windows went into a restart to update. At a certain point, the Windows computer will do that when it sees that you're inactive and there's like an update. So it went into the restart and it updated some things. I'm not exactly sure what. Sometimes after an update, a lot of the software that you have on there also is a little out of place. And I opened Serato and instead of being able to just play, I couldn't choose between turntables and CDs. I had to all of a sudden open an extra window with settings, and I could not get it to work. And I had like 2 minutes before the stream started. So last minute, I had to swap everything. But I opened the stream, I started talking, and I had no sound. That's the OBS issue. Then I had to change the entire set. Once I had that changed, somehow I was causing like a ear rape because the music was crazy distorted. So I just quickly plugged in the ATEM Mini Pro and the stream was perfect after that. But yeah, you have to be able to hustle on the fly when things are not going right. So if I'm DJing, I want to make sure I have a backup. It took me a long time actually before I stopped bringing vinyl to the club when I started to play digitally. And in the beginning, for me, that was using a different software. And at the time, Final Scratch was the software that we had here. And it was working great. But I would still have like this much vinyl in a bag with nothing but compilation albums with like bangers on it. So if anything would happen, I will be able to just grab that vinyl and go. Only had to do that once when my laptop at the time, this was like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, my laptop overheated and it just shut down. I had to quickly grab vinyl. But at a certain point after that, I just trusted the system, the computer, and never brought vinyl again. With cloud-based systems, I think that would be the same thing. It would take me a long time before I would stop bringing a backup. Now, the thing is, my backup now wouldn't be like a bag of vinyl. It would only be a flash drive. So you could always have that in your pocket. So yeah, that's something that, I don't know, I'll probably always do. You wish BeatSource had more clean tracks. You left title for that reason. See, that's the thing. I've never really gotten into that because we never had that issue here in the Netherlands. We don't have that censorship. So anytime you would play, for instance, on the radio, you were playing the dirty versions. I definitely know it's different in different countries, but that's why DJs here never had that need for clean tracks, because radio definitely didn't care about that. But so I haven't even looked into that. That's because like normally when I stream, I don't really pay attention to that either. I'm not looking for clean tracks. When I download my music off DJ City, a lot of times I will also download the clean version. I'm not even sure why, because there's not really a chance that I'm going to need it unless I might do a gig where I know there's going to be a lot of children. In that case, I will play clean versions, but that hardly ever happens. A while back, I had asked you a question because I was moving from CD to digital and what to do if the computer crashes. Your suggestion was to have a mix on your phone that you could put while you recover. Well, it happened. I was playing a school gig, my computer crashed, and I couldn't recover it. I had a second computer, and that couldn't read my external hard drive with my music. Turns out that the hard drive had gotten corrupted. Yeah, man. I mean, those are the things that definitely can happen. Look, in the Netherlands, it is a fact that a lot of times the venues where I play, even when I play with turntables and Phase and Serato, those clubs will most likely have CDJs there because a lot of DJs here play on CDJs. So all I have to do as a backup is make sure that I have a flash drive with Rekordbox prepared files, and then I'm good to go. Now, what Mixmaster G is saying, that's the perfect solution now. Like, I remember my advice used to be like, bring a mix on your phone, and that's one thing. But you could have Algorithm DJ on your phone and actually play music. Now, you could even mix the music and go all out. That is actually a great way to have a backup there. Now, of course, I would always prefer to be able to play on my normal set. But if something like that would happen, I would most likely just grab DJ software on maybe a phone, and I would not attempt to do crazy mixes. I would just make sure I have great songs, have a mic ready, host that party, and just do a lot of dropping it on the one. And like MIC, like Michelle is telling, it's all about keeping your composure in those cases. Okay, let's see. Classic TLM story is from, I believe, Lowlands, where you and Brain got on stage and there were no mics. Yeah, no, that wasn't Lowlands, but it was like a super large festival. Like, I've done 3,500 live shows with Brainpower, and we've done a lot of major festivals as well, ranging from 2,000 to 20 to even 100,000 people. Now, this was a pretty large festival. I don't remember how many people. Could have been 10,000. I don't know. We were ready to go on, and I went out first, and I got on stage and I walked to the front, and there were no mics, and we were about to be announced. Now, you could panic and go nuts, but I don't know. In those situations, I normally keep my composure, and I just calmly walked back. And I told him, like, yo, there's no mics. And he just looked at me like, what do you mean? Like, there's no mics. So we just stay cool, and they might have to wait a couple extra minutes, but we can't get on before we get mics. That is what it is. No, but if you're a DJ and something happens, the last thing you should do is just to be like panicking in front of the crowd. So like I said, I would most likely grab a phone, make sure that I have a microphone there. Just let them know, like, hey, something just happened here. This equipment just quit on me, but hey, that's not going to stop the party. Y'all still want to have some fun? Okay. Of course, the phone needs to be connected to a set. Otherwise, it won't work. So hopefully that is an option. Otherwise, I'm going to have to hold the phone to the mic. That's not going to be a great option. But just host to that crowd. Play something they like. Trust me, if it's a club, as long as they hear music and you're not doing train wreck mixes, they're going to be fine. Of course, it's not the set you wanted to do, but you want to keep that party going. Now, of course, while you hold that composure and you play that track, as soon as that track is playing, you want to go back to see if there's any chance to recover. And look, of course, if it's clear that it's not going to work, I would signal the promoter like, hey, is the next DJ already here, already available? Maybe that DJ can get ready. I mean, I can keep going for a little while, but it's probably in the best interest of everyone if we can just get the next DJ on. But yeah, keeping that composure is definitely important. All right, let's see. What did Mixmaster G promote? Are you okay if I drop a YouTube tutorial about conversion to DJ here? Yeah, bro. No doubt you can do that. For those that don't know, Mixmaster G also has a great conversion tool to just convert your playlists and songs and loops and cue points from DJ software to different DJ software. So there's different ways to do it. You have certain software, you have certain online services, and Mixmaster G also has a pretty extensive piece of software to help you convert. So by all means, just drop it in here. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm currently using the Canon EOS M50. The camera I was using before, that's my GH4 camera. And let me double check. I think I was using the off-brand battery. Let me see. Yeah, see? I have one original battery, and this is like a third-party battery, a little bit cheaper. It's been fine for years, but I think it's seen its last days because it was showing like 3/4 full when I started the live stream, and after like 15 minutes or 10 minutes, it was already like in the red. And normally that doesn't happen with this GH4. Those batteries last like forever. They last a really long time. So I think that battery is just at the end of its life. But the camera you're seeing now, that's the Canon EOS M50. I basically bought it as my vlogging camera, but I'm just really happy with it. The only thing is this camera will go to sleep after 30 minutes, and there's nothing I can do about that in the settings. The only thing I heard that could help is if you connect it through Wi-Fi to your phone, then that way it would stay on. But yeah, I'm fine using it like this. All right, what's going on? What's going on? I see a lot of things here. Do you have two DJ softwares open? Yeah, I had two open for a second. I had open a Serato and Rekordbox. Okay. Is the link in there already? No. I'm on a Newmark NS7 III myself. I have two. What? You have two NS7 IIIs? That's mad. But that is a dope controller. NS7 is still one of my favorite controllers. Definitely when it came out, but the 2 and 3 were a little bit more advanced. So I still have the 1, but the 2 and 3 are definitely better. All right. Let's see what else. What do you think about the newest controller, Pioneer? We were talking about that at the beginning of the stream, the FLX 6. Like I said then, it's a controller that is aimed at a specific market. So for a lot of DJs that have been in the game a little bit longer, might already have more advanced gear. That is not something that is particularly aimed at us. Some of the features might be seen as gimmicky, but I think they can be very cool, especially for beginner DJs who currently have like an entry-level controller. Moving from this to one of those FLX 6s is definitely a step up. And I really like the fact that it has the big jog wheels. That is a major plus in my eyes. All right. Jason says, a little disappointed with the lack of versions of tracks. Would have liked to see multiple edits of the same track. I actually need to still double check that. And that's pretty much a shame because I work for DJ City. If the edited versions are also going to become available, I remember there was talk about it. I cannot recall if that was actually a thing that would happen or would not happen. Yeah, it's a shame I can't get anyone from DJ City in here now. Maybe I can check while we're streaming. Maybe I can get that answer for us to see if that is actually happening. You have the best tutorials. Thank you, DJ Maul. I appreciate that. There's more on the way. That's all I can say right now. Hey, DJ C Goods, what's going on, man? You know what it is. Yes. Still have to represent that, man. Still love this shirt. Let's see. Yeah, so BeatSource is working on getting DJ edits. I mean, like I said, I knew there was talk about it, but I just don't remember a timeline. See, I have to start attending those DJ City online staff meetings, but they're at a time that is really off compared to my time because that's on LA time, 9 hours difference. So it's a little bit tricky for me a lot of times. All right, let's see. The IT guy. As someone who just started DJing about a year ago, I want to thank you for sharing the knowledge. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I like doing this. To me, this is just a lot of fun because we're just having a conversation about something that a lot of us are passionate about. I mean, I remember plenty of gig nights when I would be outside of the club after a gig with other DJs and the party ended at 5. And at a certain point, it's like 8 in the morning. And we're still standing outside of the club and we're still talking about music and DJing. So this is something that's just fun to talk about. And yeah, it's not happening a lot now. All right. Do you do mashups? And what software do you use? DJ Waves wants to know. No, I actually hardly ever do mashups. If I do mashups, it's something that I would normally do live. And so on the fly, I might just have an acapella, bring it in, grab an instrumental and throw it over it. If I would do that, I mean, basically you could do that with most DJ editing software if you have them at the same speed. So if not, then you would have to actually manipulate one or the other to make that work. So, I mean, if they're the same tempo, you could use anything from Audition to any of the DAWs. So if you already have like some music production software, most likely it will have the option to allow you to make edits like that. So I have Studio One here. I could do it in Studio One. I could do it in Audition. If you don't have any of that software, there's free software like Audacity that also allows you to do multi-track, if I'm not mistaken. But if you have to adjust the tempo of one of the two, yeah, then it's a little bit different. Then you might have to look at something like Ableton so you can warp and get the tempo correct. But like I said, I've never made mashups like that, or at least I haven't done that in a long time. What's the ideal way to get a reasonable, decent logo? All right, so this is a cool question, and the question is cool because of the answer that the DJ named Vess just gave. You could use Fiverr. Now, if you're not familiar with Fiverr, Fiverr is a website where people can offer their services. And this service could be anything, and I really mean freaking anything. So I've seen the most ridiculous things where they would have people in India holding up like ridiculous, like neo-Nazi racist signs, and they would do it. That's an extreme thing, but like if you're looking for normal things like logo design, voiceovers, flyer design, people who fill in whatever you need them to fill in, questionnaires, or a lot of different things. There's a lot of things I can't even think of right now. But you music production, I've seen people do that. They like tell like, hey, can you make a track that sounds like this? Because there's every type of person you can imagine is on Fiverr. They offer their services. Now the name is Fiverr because originally all the services were $5. Now people can charge what they want to charge, but there's still a lot of cheap options out there. Now, I'm going to give you an example right now. On the screen, right? There. Okay. There. That side. Yeah. You see crates. That is a logo that was designed by someone, I think, in Sri Lanka. And I did that through Fiverr. Didn't pay more than, I don't know, 10, 15 bucks, I think. That's just one logo. My DJ TLM TV logo is a logo that I made myself, but that is not the logo that you're looking at now. Let me see if I can grab my logo real quick. So for the first, I don't know, 8, 9 years on the channel, I used the DJ TLM TV logo. I'm gonna bring that up for you guys. And that was a logo, that was something I just made on the computer way back. And I mean, it was cool for the longest time. Yeah, open this for me, please. No, I don't need to open that Illustrator. Can we just open that normally, please? Yes. Sorry. Oh, wow, this is a really small one. Hold up, let me get a bigger one. What's up with the 100 pixels? Give me a bigger one. There we go. Okay. So, this is the logo that I originally made. This is the DJ TLM TV logo that you'll see in all my old tutorials, you name it. That's the logo I made. At a certain point, I felt I wanted that changed a little bit. I tried a couple things, couldn't really get it to work. So I went on Fiverr and I found one of those designers, just told him, look, I kind of like the logo. I just want it a little bit different compared to this, because my problem was at the beginning, I thought it was cool to have TLM as the focal point. But at a certain point, I was like, nah, I need that DJ to be equal to TLM, because that's the important part, the DJ part. I did not feel like, I don't know, it didn't work out for me. I paid, I think, again, like 10 bucks or something. And then that new version that you see down here is the version I got back. So maybe at a certain point, after enough fiddling around, I might have gotten to that same thing, but this was way easier to be able to outsource something like that. Now, they start at like $5, and then you can get maybe like a JPEG. But if you want to have like the source file, so you get an Illustrator file or a Photoshop file with layers that you can still change everything, then it'll cost you a little bit more. But yeah. You have emote creators for Twitch that you can find on Fiverr as well. So there's a lot you can get done there. And I mean, I've done logos myself that I'm cool with, but it's something that just takes up time, and time is just valuable. I need my time. So for instance, TLM stands for the last Mohican. Let me show you that as well. So I had that. Hold up. Let me find that real quick. TLM stands for the last Mohican. And I wanted a Last Mohican logo as well. Oh, damn, this is just the yellow one. Where's my black one? I need the black one. So at a certain point, I was like, I want a Last Mohican logo, but I want it to be just a nice tattoo style that I might end up actually getting as a tattoo. So this logo was made for me, also probably under 20 bucks. So look, you can find a lot of absolute garbage on Fiverr, and you can most of the times you can just tell when you look at the work that they're offering. Okay, this is still not going anywhere, so we're gonna leave that. But yeah, a lot of times you can look at examples of work that they've done before, and yeah, I found a couple that had some examples that look pretty cool to me. Like one guy who did a lot of signature style work. I was like, hey, I kind of like that. Let's go. And 10, 20, one logo I paid maybe 30 bucks. That's worth it to me. So for instance, that Crates logo, I let someone make that 3 years ago, I think. Never got around to use it. And now I wanted to do a new streaming show. I needed a logo and a name. Came up with that. I think I have another one in here as well. Where's my combo logo? I was going to do a new party together with 2 other DJs, and we were playing on 3 sets at the same time. So I wanted to call that party Combo because it was all about us playing combined. And at a certain point, I also found someone, and they made a couple logos, and one version was also like, okay, I really like this. No, I'm not seeing it right now. All right, I'm not going to spend too much more time here, but you catch my drift. Now, maybe you remember this one from some of the shirts I had, my share logo, also Fiverr. So yeah, point is pretty clear. Fiverr, definitely a dope place. All right. No, that's not on CorelDRAW. Photoshop. I've done some recent things with Illustrator as well. But again, for me, anytime I do something like that, it's the first time. So I've been using Photoshop for years now, but I had to learn how to use that. Same thing with Adobe Premiere, had to learn how to use that. Illustrator, had to learn how to use that, so I know how to use it a little bit. After Effects, same thing. So yeah, man, I continue to practice and learn. Leah, what's going on? Salute. Leah Chanel from London. I have to scroll up for a second. I think I missed people. I don't know. Nope. Waves, did I miss your question about 8 times? Really? All right, I'm going to scroll up until I see your question. Oh, mashups. Okay, I got you now. Twitch has become that after the club chat amongst DJs. Yeah, true. And Discord as well, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's a great way to communicate, and you can have a lot of people in there at the same time. Yeah, man. All right. Being a Mac OS guy for 30 years, Illustrator, Photoshop, man. Yeah. So yeah, same here. Same here. DJ Blackstar, yeah. I mean, I haven't left Tidal. I still use Tidal as well. So basically, when I open DJ software, I have the option to use SoundCloud tracks. I can go to Tidal. I can go to BeatSource. And some even offer something else, I believe. I mean, I used to use Spotify, especially with Algorithm DJ. That combo of DJ and Spotify was just dope. Even though they don't have like the curated playlists, which when I first heard it, was like, that's not something I'm going to use. I'm a DJ myself. I know what kind of tracks I want. But just to be able to get one of those themed playlists, even for seasoned DJs, that can be very cool. If you just know, like, hey, we're going to have a bad boy party. And if I have to go to all my crates and get that together, now I can just grab a list like that. Maybe I'll still go through my crates, but to have that as a starting point, it's just really dope. MacBook Air or Mac Pro for DJing? I think I mean, depends on which one, which year, but DJ software doesn't require a lot. I mean, I couldn't imagine that a MacBook Air wouldn't be sufficient for DJ software. That probably would work just fine because most DJ software does not require a lot of power. But I'm not 100% sure. I've never used MacBook Air. I'm not familiar with what the specifications are. DJ Waves, what DJ software, how many tracks? Yes, that's the thing. Like some software has a lot of features. And imagine if you use DJ software, but you also want to be able to do their video option. It all depends. Let's get Beatport sub with the locker for 25 tracks. Does that mean you get those 25 tracks always, even without internet? Tracks that you store in the offline locker are available at all times. They're offline. Now, the thing is, and if I remember correctly, because it's been a while since I tried that, the only thing is, if you're playing streaming tracks, and I think that counts for all of those streaming services, I believe you cannot use your recording feature inside the DJ software. And it makes a lot of sense because you're allowed to stream them. You're not supposed to record them. That is a thing, I believe. Ardent NYC, thanks for the follow. No recording, right? Yeah. No, of course, you can connect something to your mixer and record that. That will always work. But inside DJ software, you can't record if you're using streaming tracks. But if you store tracks in the offline locker, you can use them without the internet connection. So BeatSource, what happened? Maybe there's just something happening on their end. Maybe they're working on something. I really don't know. That's C Goods. You wanted to record? Yeah, I had it happen once. I was like, hey, let me just also record inside. Even though I don't need to, because anytime I do my mixes, my stream mixes, Mixcloud records it for me. So I'm actually fine. Yeah, exactly. So that works out fine for me. So I'm not even recording separately at the moment anymore, even though I always prefer to have a backup just in case something happens. Now, I do have one backup anytime I stream, and that is Restream, because Restream also stores my stream. So once I'm done streaming, I can download it from Restream, and that is including the video. So also with all the mixes where you listen back on Twitch and a lot of the sound is muted, I don't have that issue when I check a recording from Restream. And with the mixes, normally if I'm going off the A10 Mini Pro, I'll have my external hard drive connected to record as well. The XDJ RX2 records streaming tracks. Okay, that's dope. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that on the XDJ RX2, you record to a flash drive that you insert, right? So I guess because that's a hardware feature, that the software doesn't notice it. That's just me going off the cuff. I'm not sure, but I think that might be the case. That is why it is working. 9 Iron, thanks for the bits. Appreciate that. So my feeling about the Twitch DCMA email, yeah, it's tricky. I haven't had any issues yet because I'm still like really small, relatively small on Twitch. I'm at the affiliate level. I have like 500 followers. I don't have a lot of views yet. So I think that's probably it. I have started to now actually delete my old streams, but I do still have highlights up. But I believe that still doesn't save you, because I've even heard of like larger streamers that were still getting like notices from clips that they had already deleted. So here's the thing. I really enjoy Twitch. I really, really enjoy the fact that you have that community building thing there. I have that on YouTube as well, but I like the thing that's working on Twitch as well. You never want to get too attached to one platform, because there's always a chance that it will go down. Now, Twitch would not go down, but maybe at a certain point, Twitch decides that it's not in their best interest to continue down this path. Even though I can understand, like Mixmaster G says, like Bezos doesn't let the DMCA scare him. So I understand like Bezos is on a level that he doesn't really have to give a F. But still, at a certain point, they could decide like this is not worth it for us. Like most of the big people on Twitch are like gaming streamers, and they have music on, but they're not DJing. There's services out there that offer copyright-free music that you can use during your stream. So, for instance, if the gamers would all switch to music, that would make it safe for them. And the only issue would be the DJs. We're like this. And that could be a thing where Twitch might say like, hey, sorry guys, this is not working anymore. I'm not scared of it because I try to diversify. I was using Periscope. Periscope never gave me issues, probably because they're smaller. But even now, I'm still streaming to Periscope. Mixcloud is the way to go because there's no issues there, and you know that you're actually supporting the artist. That's why I also stream to Mixcloud. That's why the replay is on Mixcloud. But I really enjoy Twitch, and I really like what's happening on Twitch. But if by any chance DJs aren't able to stream there anymore, then I hopefully will be able to get my audience over there. And I hope to build something there at the same time on Mixcloud. Having said that, I haven't checked in there yet quite a long time. DJ Blackstar on Mixcloud. Sorry about that. Do you have a subscription to Spotify or the free version? Yeah, I have a subscription to Spotify. I even have like the family account, so all my peeps like wifey and the kids can also use it. But I can't use it for streaming anymore. That's the only thing. But yeah, I have Spotify. I have Tidal. I don't have Apple Music anymore. There's already so much that I have to do. So many subscriptions all over the place. But yeah. So that's the thing. Like Mixcloud, I would still have to build. Also because it doesn't really work well with the rest yet. I mean, Restream streams to Mixcloud. But Restream also shows me all the chat from Twitch and YouTube together, and Periscope is in there as well, but it doesn't seem to show Mixcloud yet. So I would have to be on there and really start to promote it there and chat there to get that growing, I think. But it's okay. I mean, I have 29 people watching there. No, 29 people have watched. I have 4 watching now there, so that's okay. Spotify versus Tidal. In what way? Mixcloud now allows you to share to Instagram stories. That's pretty cool. Yeah. My Spotify username, I mean, I'm on there as DJ TLM. Let me see if I can link that later here as well. Let's see. That's an option. Oh, wait, that will only show the... Oh, yeah, no, there it is. Yeah, just DJ TLM on Spotify. I mean, I don't have a lot going on there. There's a couple of instrumentals on there. They're also on SoundCloud, and I have like a couple of playlists on there. I haven't paid enough attention to it yet. I was hoping that I was going to be able to also have my podcast that is on Spotify, that it would also appear in the artist account, but somehow that does not add up. That doesn't link. So my podcast is on Spotify, but it's not in my artist account. Whenever you're playing music over YouTube, Twitch, how is it that you're not blocked? Well, you don't get blocked while you're playing. But for instance, with YouTube, the first couple of times when I did the mix stream a couple of weeks ago, after the stream was done, the replay was available, but they were blocked then. And I received, for one stream, 51 emails with copyright mentions, claims, one with 56 emails with copyright claims. So I still stream there when I do my mix, but right after the stream is done, I do delete the replay. I don't even leave it on there. A lot of times with shorter mixes, because I believe my mixes are just too long, and then YouTube starts to bug. But with the shorter mixes, most of the times you'll get a copyright claim, the person or the company who claims puts ads over your videos, but your videos will stay up and they'll just monetize your videos. That will happen a lot of the times. Reese, what are you saying, DJ Reese? Are you able to download your own mixes uploaded to Mixcloud? No, I don't think it does that, actually. I noticed that too, because in the beginning I actually wanted to download it, edit it, and re-upload it, but I couldn't find that. So luckily I do have my own version. So I don't think Mixcloud allows that, which is a shame, because if your stream starts out and, for instance, in the first 5 or 10 minutes you're having some difficulties, you can't cut that off. I had to do that for the first one I left on there. I had to put in the comments like the mix starts at, I don't know, like 12 minutes or something. Yeah. Okay, Mixcloud is DJs, and they tend to listen to other DJs that much. It's a failed project for now. I don't know if I call it failed. I don't know. I mean, I believe they had to go a little bit too early, because as far as I understand, they weren't actually ready to go yet. But then the pandemic happened and all DJs were home, and they just noticed like, okay, DJs are jumping on Twitch. We got to move now. I've seen a couple of DJs that when they're streaming, they have like a pretty big following going on there. Like I saw some with hundreds and some with even more. So, and the chat was popping with those people. So I don't think that it has to be a failed thing. I think it all depends on if you're actually building there. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, it isn't where Twitch is, of course, but Twitch is big because it was already big when DJ started to stream there. Let me just see, because I see a couple of people that are streaming now. And wow, why is it telling me that I'm off air on Mixcloud when I'm clearly still on? And Blackstar is still here chatting with me. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm still on. Okay, wait a minute. Let me check on Mixcloud right now. I see someone here. Let me tune in real quick. All right. So I see a person here who's playing or who's maybe done playing, because I don't see someone in here right now. I see some visuals, and I see that it's been watched 35,000 times, and they have over 2,000 followers. That's pretty good. That's a respectable number right there. And below that, I see someone else, and I think this is also done. Okay, but it's been watched 20,000 times, 14,000 followers, and the chat also has some things going on in there. So I don't know. I mean, it's not popping compared to Twitch, of course. Of course, I totally agree. But that doesn't mean that you couldn't be able to build something there. I feel like if DJs stopped crying about Facebook and IG, they could actually help build up Mixcloud. Thank you, C Goods. Thank you. Because that is one thing that I did notice, that DJs are still complaining about services that we all know aren't working. For instance, with Facebook, I let my mixes go to Facebook, and they would just go out. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't even stay on. Like this one is probably still on because it's just chatting. So yeah, this one is still on Facebook. There's still one person watching there. I haven't even checked if I can see the chat there, but okay. Whatever the case may be, I know like music just doesn't work there. End of discussion. But why care? Yes, Facebook is large. Maybe people have a following there. Help us build a following on other platforms. Mixcloud could become the perfect platform. They have their chat. Now, it's not the same type of chat compared to what goes on Twitch, even though I think the last time I checked, what's her name? Last time I was there checking a live stream, I mean, I did see all sorts of overlays, and I think I also saw all sorts of alerts. Now they don't have the same thing with bits and stuff like that, but you can support. They do have a subscription model as well. So it's called Mixcloud Select. So you can support an artist like that. It is something that can definitely grow. It is something that can definitely grow, and that might actually still happen. See, I can't see if I forgot her name, man. The female DJ, the French, one of the French female DJs. I've seen her go live a couple of times, and she had like the chat was popping. It was going off there. So I think it is definitely possible. Currently, there's a bunch of DJs streaming right now on Mixcloud, and I see 66, 30 views, 55. And make no mistake, a lot of DJs on Twitch have the same numbers, have hardly people watching either. That's the thing. Twitch is popping, but if you're starting out as a DJ on Twitch now, yeah, it's lady style. Thank you, Vanilla Rice. Yes. So even if you start on Twitch as a DJ now, Twitch is a wonderful platform. But if you start now as a DJ, you're starting at the bottom and you still have to build. So I think you can grow the same way on Mixcloud as well. Yeah, so that's the thing. She probably went fully in on Mixcloud. You can only catch her there. If as a DJ you have a following, she had a following, and you get them there. That's the only difference. I chose to go everywhere. She chose to go specifically there. But that worked for her. Thanks for the follow, D3F. Salute. So that's the thing. I mean, for me, it's about now diversifying, even though I was trying to also get people towards Twitch. So I prefer them to have them on Twitch and YouTube. But then again, if Mixcloud was better incorporated in Restream and I would have them in the chat here, I would definitely like that too. But next time I have to maybe even spend some more time on Mixcloud. Thanks for the follow, DJ Jebber. So let's see what Mixmaster. I feel you. But you had to build your IG so you can build up your Mixcloud too. 100%. 100%. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to build an audience everywhere. I mean, same thing with, like I said, Periscope. And I have no idea. I have to check that right now. Let me open my Periscope for a second. Because Periscope, I remember at that time when Periscope was just there, you had Periscope and Meerkat. Those were like two newer streaming services. Periscope was kind of incorporated with Twitter, but they were pretty new at that time. I joined a lot of platforms when I see them for the first time. And a lot of times I don't even use the account until maybe years later, but I'll have it and use it. Hey, I've got new super fans on Periscope. Let me check real quick. Dope. I have a couple of people who watch me the most. Salute to them. All right, let me go back. Just wanted to check my my stats. So I have 651 people who have favorited me, and I have 565 followers on Periscope. So I have more followers there currently than I have on Twitch. Well, it's probably getting into the same area. I'm over 500 on Twitch. So I was able to build that there without doing any consistent streaming. If I was consistent and I'm gonna spend more time on Twitter promoting Periscope, I would probably be able to get more people there. It's just that people now also have the option to check out Twitch and the other places. But if more DJs decide like, hey, these are the actual places where we're at, you can get more people there. But it's going to take time to grow. Everything takes time. Jiri Vavra. I'm saying that right. Let's see. I want to ask if you're thinking about music production software tutorials. Yes. That is actually a perfect question, because that is something I'm not switching to that. DJing will still definitely be a part of my DJ TLM TV channel, but I'm going to be spending a lot more time exploring software because I have my new setup. I now have a new working studio computer. So I'll be spending more time to also work on music production and exploring all the new software. I was doing most of my music production on Machine. That's Native Instruments, Machine. I was not using any extra plugins inside the software, you name it. Now I've got my hand on a ton of different software and plugins, and most of that I still have to explore. And I'm going to do that on the channel. I'm also going to do some of that on Twitch, and just open a plugin for the first time on Twitch and just explore it together with you. But also just like make tutorials and stuff like that. So yes, 100%, that is something I'm getting into. Like, I've been making beats for years, but it's been off and on. Like, I spend most of my time on DJing, then I spent most of my time on video production. Now I just want to incorporate all of that, spend more time making music, but also just sharing that. And I'm not an expert with most of those things, but I've seen there's like so many dope plugins out now that I want to explore and also share that with you. So I have a ton of Waves plugins. I have universal audio plugins that go with my new audio interface, the Apollo that I have right here. I got a bunch of plugin alliance as well, because they have a great subscription model that really caught my eye. Now look, I went overboard, and I'm glad I had to like start over with the computer and start with a fresh copy of Windows. And now I didn't install all of the plugins. I just went for parts of it. Now I also have the Isotope post-production bundle that has RX8 and Nectar and a lot of that stuff in there. I'm also gonna take use that and showcase that as well. They actually have a feature that does what DJ and virtual DJ do to a certain extent, but they do it better. The separation of tracks within a song. So I'm gonna showcase all of that. And yeah, Black Friday sales are all around, and they're happening already. So really keep your eyes open if you're into plugins. On Plugin Boutique, so not Plugin Alliance, but on Plugin Boutique, I actually got a couple of plugins this week that, like, one of the plugins was like 93% off. Only paid a couple of bucks for it, when it's normally like 170. And there's all kind of deals going around. So have you looked at Zoom F6 and the new 30-bit, 32-bit float recording format? That question is not even for me. I think it's for someone else. But the F6, yes, I mean, the 30-bit, 32-bit float recording format is very dope. If you're in situations where you have fluctuating volume, where you know that it's a possibility that it could get a lot louder or get a lot more quiet, because that float recording really allows you to basically never clip. Even if it goes all the way up, afterwards you can still bring that back down and it will sound normal. Like with normal recordings, when it clips, and that's what you get. You get the distorted sound. With that recording option, you actually are still able to save that. So that's pretty dope. I mean, the Zoom F6 has that. I've already seen that feature on a different recording device. That was one that was actually on my list, but it was like too expensive. Different brand. I might come up with the name later. If you want to know more about that type of stuff, you need to check out Curtis Judd on YouTube. He does like the reviews for all of that stuff. I forgot the name of that recorder, but it also had that same recording feature. So that's definitely dope. What about old Yamaha RM1 tutorial? I don't have that. Can't do that. Let's see. Did I miss anything else here? Yeah, I mean, the amount of plugins are ridiculous now. I mean, back in the days when I was doing more with the computer as far as production, you have plugins. There was also like definitely a lot out there, but nothing compared to now. And the quality has gone up as well. So for instance, with some of the universal audio plugins, the sound is ridiculous. It's really dope. But there's a lot of brands out there. There's still a lot of plugins that I want to get into that I don't have now. Like Sound Toys has a couple of plugins that are really, I've seen them in action that I really want to take a look at and try out. And some of the Valhalla plugins. I'm gonna get all their plugins are just $50. I mean, it's still $50, but that's not expensive for some of the stuff they have. Sleepy Cam, are you back? Nope. Press a little bit harder. I don't want to press it too hard because then it goes into record mode. So yeah, and I'm also on my new DAW. That is Studio One, which is something that's also yeah, pretty dope, pretty new. Oh, I don't even remember if you're still on who I was talking to about. I was gonna bring up it was about the OBS question. Oh wait, I have to turn that let me turn that window off here first. Hold up. I have to turn that window capture off. Otherwise we get that ridiculous look. Hold up. Where's that window capture? Are you? Where are you? Off. Off. I want to show you guys that OBS window real quick. But I have to turn off some of the things first. Yeah, let me turn that one off. I think that's the one I needed to turn off. Is that the one? Yeah. All right. So I turned my screen off for a second. Otherwise, you get that ridiculous effect. So OBS looks basically the same way as this would look. The only difference is, for instance, like this is from Stream Elements. So I can see some of this information in here. And I can also have a chat window in there. But OBS basically always looks like this. See how you can still see. All right. If there's any OBS experts in here right now, you can see that my audio from the microphone is coming in here, right? It is clearly capturing my voice, but the people were not hearing my audio. So if we have a specialist in here, you're seeing this now. So I tried a couple of different settings. It's audio input capture. So it's this one. I tried it on monitor and monitor output, but I don't know which one. Somehow I couldn't get it to work. I'm gonna come back like tonight or some other time tomorrow and just do a stream that I'll call test stream, and then try to get that to work. RC3, what's going on? Welcome back. And Hyper9, thanks for the follow. It's a weird question. Here it goes. How do folks come up with the equipment names? I hear the abbreviations you're using. Equipment names, I have no idea. I mean, you have to imagine there's already so much stuff out there. So a lot of names are taken. I mean, I guess there's a bunch of cool names, and then the names get taken, and then people have to come up with something else. I mean, so for instance, this is by Rode. It's made for podcasting, so they call it the Rodecaster. I don't know. That's a pretty decent name. Rodecaster Pro it is. Same thing with the microphone. Like, it's a mic that was basically made for podcasting, and they call it the Pod Mic. And they also have a Procaster microphone made for broadcasting. So I get that. With the ATEM Mini, ATEM is Blackmagic Design's switcher line. They also have like big ATEM controllers. So this is the small one, and they call it the ATEM Mini. And then they came with this one, the ATEM Mini Pro, and you also have the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and then you have the Apollo Solo USB. I mean, they have to come up with names, and once you get into equipment, you start to learn all those names and really get into. You just remember them, but yeah. What up, W? What's going on, man? And Karaoke Girl, thanks for that. Wait a minute, weren't you just on Periscope, or was that someone else? On Mixcloud, or are you still on Mixcloud? Yeah, I saw Karaoke Girl on Mixcloud. Is that the same one? Is that you? Are you now on Twitch? Oh, you're on both. Okay, got you. K-Flash, thanks for the follow. So yeah, man, RC3W, you're kind of late, man. We've been in here for like 2.5 hours now. You know what? Karaoke girl, now that you say it, I haven't even checked. Facebook should be still up. Oh, really? Really? I'm not even logged in? Wow. See, first time on Facebook since I reinstalled everything. I have to log in again to a lot of this, to a lot of these services. Let me, oh, come on. It's great for safety, but sometimes it can be an annoyance. I have to go to my second authentication for Facebook. I mean, I would suggest for all of you, if you're out there, you're creating content on social media, and you have your accounts on platforms, make sure you, if they have it, you activate the two-factor authentication. Even if someone gets your password, they can still not get into your accounts. I have it on basically any account that works with that. So for instance, now with Facebook, I want to log in, but now I have to first get in here and give them a code before it allows me in. And don't use the same password on different sites, please. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I still speak to too many people who still do that. You use a password manager to save your passwords, and use different passwords. I don't know. Just needed to add that. All right. Facebook is logging in. Okay, Flash. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Karaoke girl, you're just hopping back and forth from platform to platform. Let's see. Facebook. Wow, why is my Facebook dark? I don't remember doing that. I hardly ever go to Facebook anymore. I spent way too little time there, I have to admit, because I do have my account there. In the beginning, I was just like, I'm going to go everywhere and be on all platforms. And I mean, it's cool for promo, but then I saw like, okay, I was getting major amounts of questions on YouTube, in my email inbox, on Facebook, Instagram, and I started to see like, okay, I haven't been on Facebook in a while, and then I missed like 200 or 300 questions. So now I'm just trying to push everyone towards my email, Instagram, YouTube comments, or of course a live situation like this. Otherwise, it's too much. So now I have some sort of auto responder on Facebook that will tell people like, hey, check me out on IG. Otherwise, it's too much. You cannot keep up with that. And then you have people even asking if they can have your number. So yeah, Facebook is still up. That's because we're not doing because it's not audio. So then it's perfectly fine. So I wanted to test it, so I made a separate page called DJ TLM Sets, but I saw like, okay, the mix thing is still not working, so I'm not even doing that anymore. I'll probably adjust that name as well, or I'll just do the next stream on my normal Facebook page. This is the DJ TLM page. But it is working, and I reached 3 people and had 19 engagements. Yes. Okay, see? I did have comments. Oh, DJ Mal, you also came to Twitch, I see. I saw your name in the other, somewhere else. What was it? Montesino, yeah. I saw your name here in the comments, and that was in the chat, and that was not from, oh, it is from Facebook. My bad. Facebook is showing up in the restream. Oh, that's dope. I didn't even know that. Okay, and now I see your question as well. Learning how to use Ableton, do you have any advice? No, because I still have to learn how to use Ableton. Ableton is one of those things that is on my list. I think once I know how it works, it might even become my preferred tool next to Machine. But it is the one platform that is different from the other DAWs. I've worked with Logic. I've done a lot of work in Cubase, Studio One now, but those, at the end of the day, all have that normal DAW feel, that digital audio workstation feel. Ableton is different. First time you open it, you're like, whoa, this looks different. Clips and it's just different. But I've seen so many people do so much dope stuff with it, and especially for DJs, you can also incorporate that for live things. So I know once I get the hang of it, it might be one of my favorite tools, but I have no idea how to give you advice for Ableton now. Let me see how I have to pronounce that. That's Moplik. Greets from Belgium. Gegroet. Buurman, buurvrouw. My neighbor. All right. Even though I don't understand the logistics of equipment, it's still interesting to listen and learn. That's dope. I mean, for a lot of people, I understand that a stream like this is extremely niche and it's not for most people. And I truly understand that. But I know for the people who are into it, it's just great to have a place to have the conversations, ask questions, answer questions. And yeah, I just learn a lot of things from this as well. Just to see how other people look at things, to hear their point of view. And sometimes that can spark a discussion. Sometimes that can just let you think of things in a different way or even give you ideas. So yeah, I'm a fan of this, but like I said, I know it is a very niche thing that's going on here. But yeah, I still love doing it. Absolutely love doing it. All right. I'm going to take, even though we've already done it, we've already been there. I'm going to take one more look to see. Bye. I'm going to take one more look to see what is happening here. Are we already? No. All right, I'm going to talk to them about that. Now, there's one thing I could try because I have been using Edge. Yes, I know. Normally, I always use Chrome. But since that new Edge looked pretty cool, it has kind of that Chrome feel. And if I'm not mistaken, it is a lot lighter on the computer compared to Chrome. Chrome is pretty heavy on the computer, especially once you start to open up enough tabs. If you take a look at what your computer is doing, it has to put in some work. Let me see if we have more luck in Chrome. No, that's not looking good. No, it's not loading in Chrome either. No. All right. As Michelle is saying, Edge is Chromium, so same engine. Yeah, and it definitely has that same feel. So the last time I talked to you, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still had like the Internet Explorer type of feel. I was like, okay, now they have Edge, whatever. Chrome has always worked for me. But since the new Windows install, and since the computer is working fine again, and I just opened Edge, since then I've been using it, and it's working really great. But I just thought for a second, like, wait a minute. I know some websites will tell you like, hey, use this or that. But yeah. All right, Mixmaster already, he's saying now it looks like the DNS server, that register is down. Yeah, something is wrong there. So it's a shame that it happened during my BeatSource Link demo, even though I think the story is pretty clear because it's not that hard to understand. It is an online music store. They sell tracks. They also offer curated playlists, and you can use their database to stream it in DJ software, and it basically works in all major DJ software. Rekordbox, Serato, Dejuiced, even Virtual DJ, Algorithm DJ, and now I'm forgetting one that I've also showed, I think. So Engine Prime in the players. So that's basically it. It's a cool addition. I would use it alongside the music that you have in your computer, but it just gives you that extra access. So for instance, for special moments where you're all of a sudden thinking like, oh, just imagine you're playing at a gig, you're expecting a certain crowd, and your folders or playlists or whatever you have are really for that crowd. But for some reason, a large portion of the audience is actually a different type of crowd that are into a different type of music, and it's music that you are able to deal with, but you just don't have a lot of it there, you can go straight in and get one of those playlists for that particular genre or style, and then at least you have it, and you don't have to have like a hard drive filled with everything. Edge works best with the Windows 10 update versus Chrome and Firefox. So I have the latest version of Windows, and Edge works really well here. DJ1 on the ones and twos, salute, man. I haven't seen you yet. What's your personal opinion on the Zone 92 mixer? I just bought one. I hardly have an opinion because I've never used it. As far as I remember, the sound quality was dope, but I don't remember. I mean, I haven't DJed with it. I've seen it. I think I was in a store where it was connected and I just played with it for a second, but I don't remember. So no, I don't have enough info or experience to give you an actual opinion. So I'm gonna stay away from that. Is there a record pool that sells songs that are already warped by Ableton? I saw a video on YouTube on how to do it, but it's complicated. All right, so you're gonna have to explain this, because are we talking about a song that's normally not quantized, and that someone quantized it to make it quote unquote straight? So we're talking about live music. The tempo will fluctuate, so you don't have steady beat grids in there. And in Ableton, you could actually warp and set all the beat markers and warp it so that you can actually basically straighten the track. Because with normal songs, yeah, timing adjustment. Because with like most modern music, there's no need to do that because it is already timing wise, it is steady. So no. And record pools don't sell songs. I mean, you buy a subscription and then you have access to their archive, but I don't think so. I don't think that is like a separate part that DJ pools have. I haven't seen that before. I don't think it's that complicated. I've seen a couple of DJs do it. It will just take you time, especially if you have to do it like marker by marker, or at least every couple of markers. You have to make sure that you set it straight. That takes work. So yeah, like disco, Motown, all of that stuff isn't quantized music. This is no drum computer. It's all live musicians. Even with your best drummer, that tempo will not stay 100% steady. So you're going to have those fluctuations. And in some cases, it can be pretty bad. And especially if you're mixing in that genre and you have two songs that both have that fluctuating tempo, that becomes a lot harder to mix. That's one of those perfect examples where sync will not save you at all, because the computer cannot sync that for you because the tempo was not one tempo. So that's a time-consuming thing. The only thing is, you wouldn't have to do it for the entire track. You could basically view it the same way you see DJ edits on DJ pools. So for instance, if you take the first 8 bars of that song and you just straighten out those first 8 bars, those 8 bars are the 8 bars you can use for your transition. And then you do the same thing with the chorus of the song, and maybe not even the first chorus, but just the second chorus. That's going to be your mix out part. That's going to save you a lot of time. You don't have to do it for the entire track. I could be wrong, but in my view, that's what you need to do. It doesn't really make sense to do it for the entire track unless you have the feeling that you might want to mix on any random point of the track. In my case, I will only mix over the choruses. So yeah. Art of PHN. I had to step out for a bit. Did you answer my question about rock music? No, I didn't see it. So please jump in and ask it again. And yeah, like Mixmaster G said, most redrums are actually that. So yeah, I mean, record pools might have a couple of those, but I don't think it's definitely not a specialized part, at least in the DJ pools that I've seen. So maybe there is a DJ pool that has a lot of that. So I'm not sure. All right, so thanks for answering my song about rock metal last time. One new hurdle I've hit. When a rock song is playing, apart from transitioning out, I don't know what else to do. Do I just let the music play out? Or what cool turntable tricks can you do during a rock song? It all depends. It all depends. I mean, if I was going from rock to a different genre, then I would probably take a track that has a nice part for me to loop at a certain point, and then just go into a different genre. No, I'm not sure. I mean, I hardly ever play rock, and if I would play rock, I've never done like actual blends, especially with like two rock songs. I could only imagine that I would use echoes, or if it's like more famous rock songs, you get the crowd to sing along, and then it's all about just taking that fader down and letting them sing the last part of that chorus. And when they sung that last sentence, then I bring in a new song. Like with certain genres, it's not really about mixing. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't remember ever seeing like sets where you saw DJs like mixing rock metal. Now, I don't mean a DJ who's playing a set where they're playing hip hop and then every now and then they mix in a rock track and then go back to hip hop. I'm not talking about DJs who are actually just mixing rock from one rock track to the next, to the next, to the next. I don't know if transitioning with actual blends is the best option. For me personally, as a hip hop DJ, I would just drop on the one, use echoes every now and then, let the crowd sing along, and do it that way. That's what I can think of now. There's tons of cool stuff you can do with hip hop, with scratching and backspins. EDM, you can have drop switches or build up. Now, I mean, look, you can do like some cool backspin stuff with rock as well. If you have two copies, you could still do some nice backspin stuff, or grab a track and just, if there's like a tough, like a rough guitar part, and just take that guitar part and start to do some transform scratches with it. And after that, either let the track continue or just throw it out, just give it a large backspin and then bring in a new track. I mean, there is things you can do to add your turntablism, but like actual transitions, that's rough. All right, so I saw a couple of answers. I saw once, where was it? So I saw a name for a DJ pool that has a lot of re-drums. I also saw a question, what's the best VJ pool? I'm not sure. I only know about Smash Vision. That's the one that I've used. And I know there's a couple of other DJ pools that also offer some video material. And last time someone mentioned another name that I forgot. But I saw someone now mention a name. Heavy Hits has a lot of redrum, DJ Anomaly says. Not familiar with them. I mean, Heavy Hits or Heavy Hitters? Heavy Hitters I know. Heavy Hits I don't know. There are pools with redrums and intros. Like intros, a lot of sites have offer intros. The redrums I see sometimes. Says Daddy, what's going on? Thanks for the follow. Okay, Vinyl Touch says they have redrums and intros for rock. Okay, that's cool. Hey, we got DJ FTR. What's going on? What up, what up? You could also inject the rock acapella if you have it. Yep. Most audiences into rock don't really appreciate if you go loose mixing and scratching on their genre. Just saying. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, I wouldn't start to do all sorts of transitions. Now, I don't think, I mean, I can't say I disagree because I'm not rock audience, and you might actually know a lot more about that than me. But if you're playing nice rock tunes and you're just playing them normally, and at a certain point you incorporate a couple of nice tricks, I think it could definitely work. But if you start to take every one of their favorite songs and you're scratching 5 minutes at a time, you might start to see beer bottles flying your way. I can imagine that as well. So you have to be subtle about it, or pick a very cool moment, like the beginning of a song, do a little thing with it, but know that when you let it go, they're going to hear a tune that they really love. So you cannot approach it as if it is a hip hop party. FTR, we are basically talking about everything, going all over the place. I talked about BeatSource Link, showed a demo, had to cut that a little bit short because BeatSource is a little bit offline, having issues with the website. We've talked about different controllers and software. Now we were talking about DJ pools, rock mashups, redrums, all sorts of things. Extend the Mix is also a VJ pool. Yeah, that's the name I've seen before as well. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about FTR. We can't do that anymore now. Different topic. DJ pools for salsa. I have no idea. Okay. It is heavy hits. Yep. I didn't know that one. No, salsa, I have no idea. And no, RestreamBot is not a person. RestreamBot is part of the Restream that I use. I use Restream.io. I broadcast the Restream, and Restream sends it to Mixcloud, to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitch, to Periscope. It can send it to LinkedIn. Michelle, I still need to talk to you about that LinkedIn Connect because I did apply. And like you said, it could take a long time. I want to see if we can speed that up. And I was also supposed to be sending it to Amazon Live, which was a new feature. But I don't think it worked. I tried. But I don't think the stream went out. It just showed me an error. But it was my first time trying, so okay. No. It doesn't look like that worked. I did add it to Restream, but I don't think it works. So Restream is what I use, and Restream also appears in here. So that should be part of Restream, and yeah, I'm going to send you the application ID, Michelle. And then you have Stream Elements, and that is also not a person. That is coming from me. Watson Bobby, what's going on? We're doing good over here, man. Having fun, talking music, talking DJ, talking equipment, you name it. All right. So BPM Latino has Latinos Unidos and Latino Music Pool. Good option for salsa. Okay. Mike Beat Official had a call. What do you think about my idea? DJ companies making a standalone library crate organizer. 1 terabyte at least, a pro DJ equipment add-on, and an external hard drive with a headphone input. All right, let me read that again. Okay. So a standalone library crate organizer. Pro DJ equipment add-on. You're going to have to elaborate that idea a little bit to see what you're exactly talking about. Are you talking about a standalone DJ device with an internal library? Because that basically already exists. I don't know what you mean with the library crate organizer. A word, FDR, you're in Pennsylvania? Yeah, exactly. Vest. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like he's describing like an all-in-one Leica Prime 4 that already exists. So that, or I'm not understanding the way it's described yet. All right, let's see. Reactor, what's going on? For a beginner like myself, I find that you constantly got to be practicing. Like I haven't been mixing in a while, and it shows. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, when I started to do my mix live streams a couple of weeks ago again, I was rusty. I hadn't mixed in a while, and I could feel it. So it's always about keeping yourself in shape. Same way you have to stay in shape physically. If you make sure you continue to DJ, you will stay sharp and a well-oiled machine as well. Wait, I saw something that I missed a little bit. What were they? FDR, you had a gig? Wait a minute. Let me see that. You got a 180 plus wedding? See, that's the thing I don't understand about what's going on in the US. That's the thing that I still don't understand. I mean, with the ridiculous numbers that you guys have out there, that there's still so many people that don't take it seriously at all. But that's not just the US issue though. I mean, I see the same thing here as well. And I mean, it's like Mixmaster G says, I mean, the Dutch government is handling it pretty fair. I wouldn't want to be the government because it's pretty hard. Like if you compare it to some of the Asian countries where the governments have a different type of authority, they're able to just shut down a country. Like everyone gets a test everything shut down. And some of those countries have been very successful doing that. So that works. That works. But you can implement something like that here. And same thing happens in the States, like here as well. Like when they started to talk about maybe making masks mandatory in certain places, you already have people like demonstrating like they're treating us like they're Nazis. And people here are not used to the government really getting into their business like that. When I feel it's like so necessary to have that. But yeah, it's hard when the country's not used to that. So I wouldn't want to be the government. It's not easy. All right, so let's see. The whole COVID mess has split my local DJ communities in half. Some take COVID seriously, some thinking regulation guidelines are penetrating freedom. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think that's the Western civilization thing, where we're so used to freedom that as soon as something like this happens, people feel like their freedom is being taken away from them. And I mean, we cannot do it like the Asian countries have, some Asian countries, because that's just not gonna work. But yeah, people, in my opinion, are over exaggerating, like ridiculously, acting like their freedom is being taken away when they're being asked to wear a mask in Walmart. You know, yeah. So okay, so weddings are private events. So the argument is that if everyone agrees to partake, yeah, then it's on them, and that's the thing that kind of bothers me. Because yes, it would be on them. But the problem is, just imagine if there are some people infected there, it's not just on them, because they will take that with them to wherever they go. And they might spread it in their own household, spread it on from there. So yeah, man. Over here, we're now dealing with people trying to throw small illegal parties. So over the last weekends, the cops had to like shut down illegal parties that had like 80 people in the tent somewhere outside the city, stuff like that. So you have the same thing here. Some people will take it seriously, some don't. I also see a lot of artists also in the States that I see on social media, and you just see them in the studio, 20 people hanging out, no mask. So yeah. What? Wait a minute. Yo, 12th night DJ. I'm trying to do the math here. You usually do 30 to 40 weddings per week. How does that work? You have to explain that one to me. You do 30 to 40 weddings a week. Let me know how you do that. Because maybe I'm misunderstanding that. I don't see how that's okay. Okay, per year. I got you. I was like, wait a minute. That's going to be like really hard to do. You would have to be on that 24/7. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing for DJs now. Like gigs are just out of the question for a lot of people. But then again, yeah, here we go. You get stuff like this. Was a wedding in Massachusetts, 55 guests. One was a COVID positive. 4 weeks later, 150 plus were infected. 7 died. None of those 7 were at the wedding. That's what I'm talking about. Like, you can tell people like, hey, you can do that, and that's your own problem, responsibility. But what happens afterwards? That's the issue. Yeah, man. Hey, Joel, what's going on? Salute to all my people in LA. What's going on? So yeah, and that's the thing, man. And I mean, I know people personally who've passed. Some people that are like close to my age. You're like, that's not supposed to happen. I know people that have lost like a parent. Also know a lot. I know multiple people that have been infected. Some got a little bit ill. Some had to go to the ICU, and even now, months later, they still are recovering. And that's the thing that I'm not looking for, man. I mean, I could be confident like, hey, I'm probably healthy enough, I would live. I don't want to deal with something that might affect me in the long term and even take me from 100% to the rest of my life at 85%. I'm not looking for any of that. Yeah, man. You can't control the venue or people. Just do your own thing to be safe. I mean, yeah, like I did a couple of gigs with Brainpower last month for the tour that was planned like a year in advance. So at the end of the day, we could do the tour, but there were like real restrictions. So the maximum amount of people at a venue was 30. So that way, basically, clubs can guarantee that it's possible for people to remain at that distance, to keep social distancing. And we ended up doing not one gig per night, but we had to do 3 to accommodate. So 30 people would come in, we would do our hour show, they would leave, everything would be cleaned, and after like 45 minutes, the next 30 people would come in, we would do the same show again. We do that 3 times. Only get paid for 1 show, but that way we could still have like 90 or 100 people that saw the show in total. And that was something that was pretty easy to manage. And for us, we kept the crew very small. So we had our engineer, sound man, that's 1 person. Then we had a guitar player, Brainpower, and myself. So 4 people. A lot of places we even had like 2 dressing rooms so we could keep our distance. So that was pretty easy to keep it okay and safe. And I mean, I would have my hand sanitizer on my table while I was getting ready to DJ. My own equipment, nobody touched it. They had mics, but we would bring our own heads. So the top part of the mic, that was our own. So we would bring our own. So that was, no one else has ever talked into that microphone head except me. So that's my personal mic. So no one is sound checking that. No one is touching that. So that was the mic that I would be using. So that would make sure that we knew that we were doing everything to keep ourselves and people safe. People were also not allowed to sing along and scream, because that would also get more aerosols in the air. So they could clap, and instead of making them scream, I would make them whisper. So instead of making them go say ho, I would be say ho, and everyone would like whisper. It was just a funny experience, but that was something that was controllable. But even that was shut down now because they had to enforce just a little bit more restrictions, because a lot of people here were just not taking it serious enough. You could just see that when you're looking outside. And yeah, so the venues had to like postpone. So now the last 3 to 4 gigs we're going to be doing in February. That's now. We have to see what happens in the next couple of months. All right, Warren T, what's going on? DJ Manny Fresh. Who else is in here? 9 Iron, I already saw you. And I saw a couple of names. Mulberry. Stu. Yes, sir. What else? I've never been more ethically, morally conflicted in my passion as a DJ. Our lives are on the line. Need to understand. Yeah, it's a tough situation for sure. It is, man. And I mean, I also understand that when people all of a sudden lose all of their income, there is a certain desperation that comes into play, and you start to second guess a lot of things. So they have a certain rule, and you're like, yeah, wait a minute, but they have that rule, but they can still do that. So why should we do this? And then people are easier gonna be in a position where they want to revolt and not go along. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, we could see the first time we had a lockdown here, the numbers went down. They just went all the way down, and the ICU started to empty again, and things went back to normal. And then people, a little bit too soon, started to get too comfortable, and then the numbers go up again. So you see exactly what works. And again, referring to some of the Asian countries, they just shut it down totally, opened it up. I think in some of the countries, they had like 5 new cases. They shut down the entire city, tested 2 million people. Over. New Zealand, same thing. So the measures work if they're properly applied, but it's hard in the West. It is. Stu. Yeah, man, that's just hard. We're not used to that in the West. We're used to our freedom. We're not used to letting the government dictate too much. You have laws, yes, but you don't want to hear anything else. Yeah, man. MVC to Wizard. Can you help me find a DJ name? No. No, that's a hard thing. I mean, DJ names, I mean, names in general are just not easy. I mean, basically any name could work. And you can see that because you have the most famous artists out, and some have names that if you heard that name the first time, you wouldn't say it's a cool name. But after a while, because you hear that name so much, it becomes normal. And then you actually start to recognize the person for that name. And now you might even feel it's a cool name because you think the artist or person is cool. So it's so hard. We always had to think of the same thing when we were organizing parties. You needed a new name for a party. It's always the same hassle. Like most of the names you think of first are already taken. Then you start to look at like popular songs, use those names, and they're taken. With DJ names, for me, it's all about just keeping it personal. I mean, TLM stands for The Last Mohican. The Last Mohican is a novel. It's a story about Indians. One of those Indians, Native Americans, is called Uncas. I think they pronounced it Uncas, but my parents saw it. They read that name. They said Uncas, and that became my name. That's my government name. Came from that story, Last of the Mohicans. So I'm the Last Mohican, TLM. TLM is not marketable when you first hear it. Like people didn't know how to pronounce it, or like, well, that KLM, that's our airline, or get jokes like that, whatever. And now for the people that know me from whatever, my online content or mixtapes, you name it, now that name sounds normal, but it's not like TLM is catchy, you know? But for me, it makes sense because that's me. And you could take it further than that and see yourself as, especially in this country, I can see myself as one of the last people trying to keep a certain craft alive and actually be one of those last of the Mohicans. But yeah, that is for me. And I've seen plenty of names that aren't. Yeah. So C Goods is a play on your actual name. So I see that a lot as well. Like people just using that. And that's going to work just fine. So yeah, man, that's it. I think after this, I'm not agreeing to events and intentionally going past my statutes regulations. There was an outdoor component, but they omitted that part. Yep. Yeah, man, I understand. I totally understand. Because you don't want to feel like you're part of something that might be some sort of super spreader either. I get that. Reactor, big up. I'm gonna head off. All right, Reactor, thanks for joining, man. See you next time. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I agree, and it's a learning experience indeed. Indeed. It is different for all of us. But then again, some people will discover new talents they never knew they had because of lockdowns, they had to do something with their time. A lot of people are learning new skills, or some DJs also take the time, if we're going back to DJs, and use this time to be like, okay, let me just reflect on where I was in life and in my career. Was I actually happy with what I was doing? For some DJs, they might discover like, actually, I wasn't that happy. And this is the perfect opportunity to either start a new path as a DJ or do something totally different. I'm not saying that it's a good thing this happened, but you have to make the most of the situation. So for a lot of people, this was the perfect time to learn new skills or just find direction in life as well. Kelly Kell, that is also from your real name. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. For a lot of us, that's the easiest. Now, I understand some people just don't like to use their real name, and I can totally understand that as well. You know, but for others, it just makes a lot of sense. Or a lot of people might already have a nickname, some name that people always call them, and they just turn that into their DJ name. Yep, a lot of DJs are now testing new gear or software. Yep, I think that's happening a lot too now. I can totally understand, especially software-wise. I mean, it's not going to be that easy to test out a lot of new gear unless you can go to stores. But like, especially with software, like DJ software or just music production software, you name it, a lot of those will have like free versions. And this is the perfect time to look at those things as well. And for me, it was all about like now also rearranging my studio setup, working on the live streaming thing, just starting, trying to improve every time. That's what this is all for. I know we got other topics to chat, but I really want to sincerely thank and appreciate y'all for the time. Yeah, man, that's the thing. Even though this is DJ related, when I announced it like DJ related questions, when we're all in here, we're all people, and it doesn't always have to be strictly DJing. Like, I mean, if I start a live stream and in the first 5 minutes people start to talk about the deepest things in life, that might not be where we're at then. But you can always, in a real conversation, you can end up starting at one topic and going all around just from that one topic to another topic and so on. And I mean, again, we're all real people here, grown people. We can have those conversations. And yet YouTube has, to go back to the equipment, YouTube has reviews on everything. You can take that time to do your research, find out what's going on. 100%. All right. Oh, it's 10 past 10 here already. That is pretty crazy. All right. So if someone has anything else question-wise, just drop it now. Otherwise, I do think that I'm going to call it a day, because I want to do a couple things. You might actually see me back online in a second. I'll probably just do that on one platform. Maybe I won't even share it with you guys. I'll take the platform that no one's using. But no, I want to do a couple of audio tests. So don't be shocked if you do see that I'm back online in like 30 minutes. But that's just a test, because I want to make sure I get the OBS version to work as well, because I really want to use everything that's in there. I mean, it took me so long to get the computer working again, to just start over fresh. Now everything is cool. So I want to use it. And I haven't been able to do that yet. All right, Jefferson Walters, Dr. Jeremy, Mixmaster, Mixmaster G, DJ 9 Iron, Kelly Kell, DJ on the ones and twos, FTR, Finds One, Michelle, don't know if you're still in there, but all of you, because I think we are the last of the Mohicans in here now, I want to salute all of you, and it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Now, actually, there should be more. I see that we still have 30 on Twitch and 33 on YouTube. You're just not all in the chat. That is the difference. And Karaoke Girl, I see you too. Vinyl Touch, salute to you. Stu, salute to you. DJ Invest, all of you. I'll see you next time. I'll be back on Monday with the next crates. Oh, DJ Unleash, you're coming in just when we're about to step out. We've been in here for over 3 hours now. Hey, Sui, what up, man? Je was zelf aan het streamen, hè? Waarschijnlijk. Yeah, man, we've been talking DJ stuff for the last 3 hours. So we're actually calling it a day over here. Ilnana, salute. See ya. Anomaly, see ya. All of you. I don't know if there's anyone to raid, actually. I have no idea. But I'll be here on Monday. Check your local time. It's 8 o'clock my time. I'll be back with Crates, episode 6. And probably next weekend, I'll be back with my second workout motivation mix, the drop set. Okay, so Cleveland is on. We can raid Cleveland. I think Mojax is probably on as well, but Mojax is doing his progress show, so that's progressive house. I think it makes more sense to raid Cleveland. That makes much more sense for what we've been doing here right now, instead of all of a sudden going into a house mix. So yeah, I'm gonna put Cleveland Terry in here. I keep forgetting. Is that Cleveland _ Terry? I always forget. Or is it just Cleveland Terry as 2 words? I don't want to look it up. Someone let me know in the chat. so I don't have to. Yeah, it's one word. That's it. Thank you, W. So let's raid him real quick and see what's going on there. Wait, why am I? Oh, my bad. I was on the Restream chat. That doesn't work. I have to go to my Twitch chat. Hold up. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Restream is not all of a sudden Twitch. I can't do that there. That gave me a totally different thing. Who else just came in here? DJ Mike Medium. What's going on? We're about to raid Cleveland. We've been at it for 3 hours, so we're going to hop out and see what Cleveland is doing. Oh, wow. The raid did get activated. Oh, dope. I didn't even know that could work like that. All right. So we're going in right now. Let's go.
Talk a little bit about the Flex 6 from Pioneer. We'll start talking